Now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has entered into a strategic agreement with Farmmate Limited to drive large-scale tomato production and address persistent supply gaps in Ghana's agricultural sector. According to the Minister, Eric Opoku, partnership serves as a major intervention to reduce Ghana's heavy reliance on tomato import, which currently costs the country about $500 million annually.
The agreement, the Farmmate Limited has decided to scale up from 1,000 hectares last year, 1,000 acres last year, to 40,000 acres this year. And they are going to produce under irrigation. And under this arrangement, they want to produce 400,000 tons of fresh tomatoes to the Ghanaian market. 400,000. Now what they say is that if they are able to implement fully all the outlined programs, they should be able to deliver to the Ghanaian market not less than 600,000 tons of fresh tomatoes. But you know, they also have a processing factory located at the Legon bypass. They are able to process 20 tons per hour. So in a day, you can imagine the quantity that can be processed. They want to scale it up so that they can process more. And they are also saying that apart from the fresh tomato that you can find in the market, they are also grinding the tomato and then packaging them. That's what they call puree. So when you go to the market and you don't find the fresh tomato, you can find the puree, which is just tomato in that form. Nothing has been added. So you can buy that one, keep it in your fridge, and use it for the whole year. After all, when you buy the fresh tomato, you have to grind. And when it is done, you only have to keep it and use it for the entire period.
And that does it for the business updates on the AM News. Back to you, Denicia.
Thank you, Ahanta Pili Samuel Kujibris, for bringing us business. Don't forget that the AM show is sponsored by Shield Silicon Paint from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and also Time Herbal Mixture. Ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy today's moment, remember to keep your body refreshed and your energy right with Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water. Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water is not just any water. It's natural and mineral rich that keeps you going. So whether you're dancing, cheering, networking, or simply enjoying the moment, Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water helps you stay cool, refreshed, and fully present. So grab a bottle available in 500 ml, 20-liter jars, and sachets. For bulk purchase or inquiries, call 055 2250290. And that's it for AM News. My name is Denicia Pomaije. For more news, please still log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is sports. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelopes, brown cranes, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
You guys are ready for what's about to happen? Only on Joy Prime Television.
All right.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Kojo. Out here, my sister, the guy is quick. Giving the rappers the platform to show their flow. They go blow. Beats and bars to the hardest thing. You get past split up the baddest thing. This with the mic, make me see the fire. No darling, cause we know the tire.
Stage necessity. Mike and I are ready. What's a rap? So now you will rap. Beats and bars. You get bars, shall
Yo.
This is not just rap.
This is not just lyrics. This is raw on the mic. Yes, you're welcome to Beats and Bars, the ultimate community rap show, live on Joy Prime Television. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we bring rappers from your community to show us what they've got.
Two communities, two fearless MCs. I'm the guy, a queen sister, stand the beat. Hey, guy, and I'm doing this with my brother.
Yeah, you know when the queen is on, the king is on. My name is MC Kojo-Addo, the only MC with a sauce to spice it all up. And ladies and gentlemen, Beats and Bars, we say, you get bars, spit them. All right.
Rounds, freestyle, rep your community and brag. You know what I'm saying?
You heard that. You have just 3 rounds to prove yourself as a rapper. Every other Saturday, live on Joy Prime Television. Make sure you sit down, 8 p.m. Join us with some cool drink and enjoy the party, man. Your pong is smelling good. Beats and Bars.
You got bars,
Spin down.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time for us to do sports now. And Black Star striker Prince Eduka has opened up on his international ambitions, learning from Asamoah Gyan and his desire to break new ground both for Ghana and his community. He's been speaking to my colleague Fentio Tahiru Fentio.
Another international break. You started both matches. Tell me what it was like to start these 2 games against these 2 big countries, Austria and Germany.
It's really amazing, everything is great. I'm really happy to start these games and show myself. I'll give thanks to coach for giving me another chance to show myself, and it's really good. I'm really happy.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about your performances in both of those teams. What was the instruction for you playing as a target man? Because we saw that you were isolated a lot and you got into decent positions, but obviously you couldn't get a goal from one of those positions. But what was the instruction for you for these matches from the coach?
Every game you go is a different approach, and it depends on the game you are going, and you see the tactics we use in the game. Because some of the games, like Austria, like this, they were having they press too much, so sometimes you don't have too much time to think, so you need somebody who can hold up the ball in the forward, then we can rebuild ourselves and something. So I was there to hold the ball and to join the attack, to help the attack. Then we can play very good.
And obviously that match we lost by 5-1. In today's game, in the game against Germany, we saw a much better performance from the team. We obviously lost by 2-1, but the performance was definitely better than the Austria game. What was the conversation that the coach or the management team had with the players after that Austria game? What was the conversation like?
In the Austria game, I think we gave our best, but it was not enough. So when we came and watched the video and see a lot of mistakes we did. So we have to learn from it and go hard on Germany. Because some stuff we do a lot of mistakes in Austria games, and I think it's because we didn't run a lot. So we decided this game we have to run a lot, because if we want to win the game, we have to run more than the opponent, work very hard. So we learn from our mistakes in Austria game.
In the two matches, there were a lot of people that compared your performance to Asamoah Gyan leading the line, that sort of situation. Gyan has been here in camp as well. Have you had a chance to speak to him, and what has he told you?
Right now, I didn't have a chance to speak with him, but I'll be glad to hear from him, because he's my role model. Growing up, I've been watching him since, and I'm still learning a lot from even his old clips. I'm still watching to learn a lot, and he's our great legend. And I've done a lot from today's batch. And I hope I can learn a lot from him, and I will get the chance to speak with him and to ask him some few questions, because I want to see, because he's a legend and he can show me a lot of things. I can work on it.
Obviously, you got your first national team call-up a little late, or late last year for the two friendly matches against Korea and Japan. Coming into this year, how are you feeling? Are you feeling more and more a big part of the team? What has the reception been like since you entered the team?
I've been so excited being in the team, because Blaster is not like, it's not easy to be in the Blaster, and to be there, you can say, okay, then you are working hard, so the thing, you have to work really, really hard to maintain the position and to get spots in the starting lineup and stuff. So I was so happy, and I'm really working very hard to be in the team to score my first goal, and many more will come later.
Have you thought about how you will celebrate if you score your first goal for the national team?
Yes, always.
Really? You already thought about what celebration are you going for?
That one I say I'm not saying it
until you score.
When I score, people will say how I will celebrate, because I will be so excited to score my first goal in Ghana. Just say I was so happy.
We still have a few months before the World Cup. You go back to your club level. I mean, how confident and how hopeful are you about going to the World Cup? And what will that mean for you if you get selected?
Oh, it will be a great opportunity for me, and I'll be so excited. Because going to the World Cup is not a small thing. Not every player gets a chance to play a World Cup, so to be in that stage, I think it's amazing, and it will be one of my biggest in my career, achievement in my career. So right now I'm going to my club side to focus on that because we have 2 to 3 months more, and we don't know what will happen. So the thing is, I have to keep on working very hard to get in the list. Yeah.
And, you know, you've been a bit unlucky when it comes to the national team, especially under 20. I think 2021, you should have been part of the Zito team that went and won the trophy, but you got a really bad injury. Even at the time, if I remember correctly, you had an invitation to the Black Stars under CK Akono. You trained with the team, correct?
Yeah.
How difficult was that to get that close to the Black Stars and even had the chance to have been lead striker for under 20, and then injury just ruined everything?
Yeah, it was a very difficult situation that time, and you cannot take injury from football, you know. But mentally, it was difficult. It was difficult, yeah. But it got so good. I managed it with the support of my family and my friends. Everything goes well, and I come back stronger.
Yeah. And in that period, obviously, you mentioned the support of your friends and your family. But what else really kept you going? Because, you know, sometimes people always talk about the injuries and the fact that it's not the physical part of the injury that's more difficult. It's what it does to you, you know, being alone all this time and all these things that you're always thinking about. How did you get through that difficult period?
Yeah, I think the most difficult part is getting that injury and you don't get somebody to support you. It's very difficult to come back, you know. So, but for me, I got my family supporting me. Every time my mom was talking to me, and she always there for me, like I can overcome this, and she was praying for me all the time. So it was good for me. So it make me get it easy for myself. And I was thinking, like, I have somebody who is supporting me and everything, so I cannot disappoint her, you know. I have to really work hard and make her proud. And I think I'm doing that for her now. She's very happy seeing me again in the national team, seeing me sign my professional contract, playing very good. So she's happy.
Okay. Let's wrap up by obviously talking about what the future holds for you. You're going back to Victoria Pelton. You've been there for, this is your third season there, or second season? This is your second season there. This season you scored 1 goal, I believe.
No, this season I scored 6 goals.
6 goals?
Yeah, in all competitions I scored 8 goals.
Okay, in all competitions 8 goals. That's a good return. But what did you set any targets for yourself about how this season goes, and possibly where do you see yourself in the next maybe 2 years, 3 years?
Okay. My target was going to Victoria Pleasant. My target was in the next 2 to 3 years. I want to be in the top 5 leagues. And I'm still working very hard because it's not easy. It's not easy to get there. You know, you have to work very hard, and I'm still on it, working very hard. And I know it will come true. Yeah, for sure. I'm praying for that, and I'm working hard for it.
When you came to the Black Stars team, which players, did you already know some of the players? Which ones are you very close to? I mean, you're supposed to be in the under 20 with Fatau, right?
Yeah. I'm really close with Fatau Suleimana. We are friends already before I came here and meet them, so it's really easy. And I think the old guys here, they are very nice to me and everything. So to adapt in the system is not that hard for me because they are very supportive.
And how do you prepare for a game in terms of mentality? Some people like to listen to some kind of music. You have a favorite type of music that you like to listen to before, or what is your pre-match routine like?
For me, I don't really have, sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I'm just there, just watching some videos of football, it depends on the mood. Yeah, so when it's music mood, I just listen to music. So it depends.
You have a favorite musician?
Yeah, I do.
Who's your favorite?
In Ghana?
Yeah, or anywhere really.
Yeah, in Ghana I like Familia, and I like Kofi Kinata, and Eduka.
Oh, you are the MDK man.
MDK, yeah.
That's amazing. It means you like rap music as well, right?
Yeah. But I don't know how to sing.
You don't know how to rap. You don't know how to say. You don't know how to rap.
Yeah.
When that call comes, right, and they name the squad, the day you discover that your name is in the squad, you're going to the World Cup, who is the first person you're going to pick the phone and call?
Of course, it's my mom.
Wow, you're that close with your mother?
Yeah, I'm really close with my mother because she's always there for me. Everything, she's supporting me, praying for me. So, any good news, any bad news, she's the one I call first. Then my brother. Sometimes we call each other like a group call, to if somebody we have some good news or bad news, then we just say it or something. So she's the one I'll call first.
Oh, wow, that's really amazing to hear. And by the way, since you joined the national team, have you had any calls from anyone, ex-player or anyone big that surprised you? It's like, oh my God, where did he get my number from? Like, where's this person calling me? Have you had any chat with anyone? Has anyone called you yet? Some of your old friends seeing you in the blasters like, is that Prince Edu? Like, have you had any of those kind of calls from anyone yet?
Not really, but for me, it's coming to come seeing player like our legend Capitano Stephen Appiah. I was like, really? Because
it's not a dream, it's real.
Yes, I've been growing up watching him playing, giving his best to the national team, and so I was like, wow, he's a big legend, I know, and in Germany, of where I live, a lot of people like call me or like. Even now, I have a lot of messages. It's like they are surprised, They're like, Prince, is it you?
Is that you? Is that really you?
Watching you. Some people are like, they are really proud of me. The time they are singing the national anthem, they say like, it's Prince.
Wow.
Yeah, because in our area, nobody have played national team before, so it's really difficult. And God's so good. I've been there, and I'm really grateful for what God has done for me, and I'm so proud of myself.
That's amazing. We're very proud of you, and we wish you all the best as far as the national team is concerned, and I hope that your dream comes true and you get to go to the World Cup to play for your country.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm praying for that. Inshallah, it will happen.
Inshallah, it will happen. Thank you so much, Prince. We're rooting for you.
Welcome to Malcolm, where shopping is a musical experience for all generations. Granny's Let's Roll It Back.
Malcolm got now we here for you. Malcolm's got it all for me and you. money day, sometimes some way out of pocket. Melcom season. The price is right.
The price is right.
The price is nice.
The price is nice.
Fresh with the vibes, unbeatable. If the price they fly.
If the price they fly.
Your number one stop shop, number one. Your number one stop shop, Melcom. Melcom got now we did for you. Melcom's got it all for me and you.
No matter the generation you belong to, Melcom is where Ghana shops.
Bring back home the experience.
Bring home the experience.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Cadbury hot chocolate, crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number one, let's bring Eduka. Let's bring. You didn't for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it they carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it they make water they flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the vibe. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you. Puma.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
For many, success is defined by one path, the white-collar dream.
I want to be a software engineer. I want to be a banker.
But when that door doesn't open, does it mean your story is over?
No, because there are other paths.
Paths built on passion, creativity, and courage.
From season 1 to 3, we've met dreamers who turned rejection into redirection.
They wanted to silence me.
And built success beyond the titles.
As a general manager for Kena Pharma, I felt this challenge right deep that I should work in the area of my gifting. I started writing.
Now, season 4 is here.
New stories.
Remember one kid who walked into my class and looked and said, "You are from Africa, right?" And I said, "Yes, that's why you are so black."
Deeper lessons.
I haven't been to sixth form, I haven't been to university. So everything that you hear me do, I've learned on the job.
More proof that the trail doesn't end when the white-collar job door closes.
I did attend an auditioning for Emirates cabin crew members, but I was not selected.
This is not just a show, it's a movement.
The Career Trail Season 4 with Irene Edubia-Eni shows every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Joy Learning TV and 6:30 p.m. on Joy News.
The Career Trail, your success journey begins here.
Watching the AM show, and as we say, it's worth waking up to. So let's make it worth your time now. And you know that Ghana's inflation rate has been on a downward trend in recent months, right? And that's offering some relief at the national level. But is that the case everywhere? In part of the country like the Northeast region, residents say the cost of living remains stubbornly high, exposing significant regional disparities. James Eshen has been digging into this and has come through with this.
Even as national inflation eases, the reality in the Northeast region tells a different story. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows the region has consistently recorded inflation rate far above the national average in recent months. In January 2026, inflation in the Northeast region stood at 11.2%, nearly 3 times higher than that of the national rate of 3.8%. Although inflation declined, the region still recorded 8.9% compared to a national average of just 3.3%. This trend is not new. As far back as September 2025, the region posted inflation of over 20%, more than double the national figure at the time.
The data tell a very clear story. Inflation has fallen sharply and consistently over the year. Price pressures are easing across most components of the CPI. While challenges remain, particularly in some regions and food categories, the overall trend is positive. This creates space for planning, confidence, and recovery. In summary, in terms of numbers, we are talking about January 2026 recording an inflation rate of 3.8%. Food inflation at 3.9%. Non-food inflation at 3.9% as well. Goods inflation at 3.6%. Services inflation at 4%. Inflation for locally produced items at 4.5%. And then we have regional differences, which shows that Northeast recorded the highest inflation at 11.2%, and Savannah recorded the lowest at negative 2.6%.
But what has been driving inflation within the region? From food items to transportation, the cost of living remains elevated, placing a heavy burden on households and small businesses. For Bashir Awal, roads within the region are very bad, and it makes it difficult for farmers to bring their goods to the market.
We have, I may say, we have varied inflations from region to region, between region to regions, in that in the Northeast region, it has risen from the national average, which is 3.3 to 8% and above, because of certain factors, such as high transportation cost, also supply constraint. We also have the market isolations and that of competitions. With the Northeast region, specifically speaking from Chirpone, high cost of transportation and fuel rising increases the price of certain items above the standards. We in the Northeast region here, price of items, because of high transportation, buyers will have to pay more of items, and those items that are being purchased, the prices, the extra cost will be passed on to the final consumer. We pass on to the final consumer, which will increase the price even more than the national average.
In areas such as Chirpone, high transportation costs and rising fuel prices continue to worsen the situation.
Supply constraints, most districts may produce less than what they have, and in that they will depend on other districts or other regions for supplies of items. In that, most times, if those items or there are conditions, disruptions, certain conditions like insecurity. There's also certain conditions like adverse weather condition. They may not be able to supply to them. So the items produced will be limited and demand will be high. So many of the customers or the consumers will have to rush for those items, which will increase the price above the stable national level. Then we also have the isolation. We have market, competitive market. So we have the market isolation, which when you come to districts like Chirpone, fewer sellers determine the price of items. And because there are no competitions, sellers raise the price above the average national level, which increases the price from 3.2 to 8%.
Habib Yakubu is a resident in Chirpone, and he explains that cost of living within the region is high.
We can describe our form of inflation as food-driven or agriculture-driven kind of inflation, because basically most of our populace are engaged in agricultural activities, and if the cost of living is high, definitely it will affect our purchasing power. First of all, since we are agriculture-driven region, I would like to suggest that government give farmers some support and input. They subsidize the input for farmers. Yes, because some years ago we had the government coming in to subsidize for farmers, and actually it actually helped them well. And also we would like the government to come in to train the farmers in the modern day farming techniques.
Also, economist Professor Peter Cortes say the disparity reflects deeper structural challenges within the economy.
One point I want to point out is that in as much as inflation is reducing, I'm concerned about the regional disparity, particularly the poor regions, the northeastern region, for instance. You find part of the northern region as well, very high rate of inflation compared to a place like Bono East and others. You can tell that where the food basket is, where food production is really on the increase, inflation is much lower compared to the regions where we are not witnessing high rates of food production. And it worries me because when livelihoods are threatened, when people's livelihoods are threatened, it certainly affects the way they behave. It can even generate into conflict. And therefore, policies should be directed towards reviving or supporting such areas to ramp up their food production to enhance their livelihood.
These residents say without targeted interventions, the gap between regional and national inflation could widen even further.
With these points, if government is able to implement it, it will help reduce the inflation rate in the region. That's what I was saying. National one is around 3.8, 3.3 or 3.8%. So if ours is around 8 point something, that means it's actually high, and it will definitely affect our constituents and the citizens of the region as well.
All those expenses that are charged above the 8% level are factors that affect the conditions of service in the district. So we are adding that we are playing on the government to fix our routes so that at least transportation prices will reduce, and then also come to the rescues or the aid of farmers during certain bad weather conditions, so that at least they'll be able to produce more crops to supply to the whole country.
Limited market access and higher distribution costs continue to push prices upward in remote regions. What measures is the government taking to address the challenges of regional inflation disparities? Here is Deputy Minister of Agriculture, John Dumelo.
Well, the theme was selected because basically we launched the Feed Ghana program in April, on the 12th of April in Techiman. And the Feed Ghana program encompasses everything that we want to do as a country in terms of agriculture. The most important thing is feeding ourselves, feeding the industry, and then exporting the rest. But feeding the industry is also very critical. Feeding the industry is also very critical because, one, we need to add value to whatever it is that we produce. Now, adding value to whatever it is we produce would reduce post-harvest losses, which we are trying very hard to tackle. And so feeding ourselves, of course, recently with the glut issue, I think there was just an abundance of food for some reason. And so now the main focus is processing it, feeding the industry, and then exporting the rest. And so
for residents in the Northeast region, the expectation is clear: improved roads, reduced transport costs, and stronger government support. Until then, many say the declining national inflation figures will remain a distant reality. For Joy Business, James Eshen.
All right, welcome back to the AM show. Let's do the papers now. My guests are already seated, but let me just bring you a bit of what the papers are reporting today. Starting with the Daily Graphic, it says, voluntary tax compliance, indigenous businesses leads way. KGL Group pays 153.21 million cedis to GRA. Okay, all right, that's nice. 33 SHS to pilot new WASI SC curriculum this year. BOG governor urges IMF to reshape support to Africa. And Daily Guide now. Pensions boss blows 15 million cedis on land cruisers. That's according to Minority. And CJ calls for excellence in justice delivery. 2 Brecum Chelsea player killers nabbed. Lawyers seek update on wife beating complaint against RNAQ. So those are some of the stories being reported in the papers today. The Finder GSE market cap crosses 252 billion cedis. Also, diversify your pension investment, financial analyst, and unhealthy lifestyle blamed for growing diabetes cases. Okay, all right. That's it there. Let me now welcome to the studio my guest. Dr. Sami Aye is a presidential aide. Good morning to you, Sami.
Good morning to you.
Kwesi Boche Jr. is lawyer and member of the MPP's communications team. Kwesi, good morning.
Blessed morning, my dear brother.
Everything good?
Everything good.
Good. Sami, everything good?
By God's grace.
Okay, let's start with the NPRA issues because yesterday the Minority held a presser on and brought up several issues about what's happening at the NPRA. According to the Minority, they are accusing the acting chief executive officer of the NPRA, Chris Boadi-Mensah, of presiding over what it describes as excessive and questionable spending of pension funds, raising serious concerns about transparency, accountability, and fiduciary discipline. Addressing a news conference, MP for Otafo, Vincent Akosua, said the authorities' recent financial decisions risk undermining security of pensions contributions, which he described as the deferred wages of Ghanaian workers. I'm sure you followed it.
Yes, good morning to your viewers.
Once you followed, and if you look at all the issues that they brought up, how much government approach this to ensure that the right things are being done at the NPRA?
First of all, good morning to our viewers. Good morning to you and my good friend, brother, Kwesi Boche. First of all, the presser by the Minority on the NPRA issue is a complete waste of time.
Really?
It is mendacious, it is fallacious, and spurious in that there is no iota of truth in all the allegations that have been raised during this press conference. They raised a number of issues, but because of time, I will not discuss all of them because they are complete falsehood. First of all, he raises the issue that since the appointment of Mr. Chris Boadi-Mensah, he has increased salaries to about 25% across board. That is a lie. Number two, he claimed that the NPRA has bought Land Cruisers worth 150 million Ghana cedis.
No, he says 50 million.
50 million Ghana cedis. That is also a lie. Because we know that Mr. Chris Boadi-Mensah was appointed on 23rd January 2025. Before his appointment, there was a board approval somewhere in September 2024 for an across-board salary increment at NPRA because somewhere in 2023, the workers at NPRA expressed a displeasure that over 14 years since they started working there, they have not experienced any significant pay raise. So because one of the bases for that allegation or that concern was that they had been able to increase their assets under management from 11 billion to 55 billion. And for that matter, when you compare them to other workers in similar state institutions, they are at a disadvantage. And so the then MD or CEO of NPRA, Mr. Kwendi Nimbro, set up a 5-member committee. You understand the point? A 5-member committee to review their salary structure and give recommendations if there is any need for a pay raise. And so that committee was set up on 2nd May 2024. About 38 days after that, they brought a recommendation on 10th June 2024. That recommendation was actually sent to the board for review. They recommended that The CEO of NPRA salary should be increased by 27%. Deputy CEO should be increased by 26%. Director should be increased by 48%. Deputy director should be increased by 45%. Principal manager should be increased by 36%. Different percentage increment for different category of workers at NPRA. So when the matter went to the board actually suggested and approved that there should be a universal pay raise of 25% across board, effective January 1st, 2025. And I have the board extract here, which I can show to you.
Yeah, okay. But you said this report went to the board which month?
It was sent to the board on 10th June 2024.
10 June 2024.
Under the previous MPP administration of President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia.
Okay, so 10 June 2024. Yes. And that same board decided that the implementation should start in January.
When it went to the board, the board approved it in September 2024 for it to take effect in January 2025. So before Mr. Chris Boedi Muensa was appointed, it had already taken effect. And so he has not done anything unusual. He has not, unjudiciously wasted or spent any. And for the benefit of our viewers, I would like to read the board extract, which the board approved. So he says that decision. This is to Chief Executive Officer from Solicitor Secretary of the Board. 5th September 2024, Board Extracts, 2025 Salary Review. The Board at its 66th emergency meeting held at 10 a.m. on Thursday, 5th September 2024, in the boardroom of NPRA, considered the recommendations of the HR, Finance and Administration Committee on the Salary Review for 2025. The Board adopted the recommendations of the committee and that there should be a salary increase of 25% effective 1st January 2025 to be implemented as follows. 20% increment salary across board, 5% to be utilized for the structural realignment of salary scales. And so before Mr. Chris Boedi Muensa was appointed as CEO of NPRA, this had already taken effect. So I am extremely surprised that Member of Parliament for Ota, for my good friend Vincent Asifua, who has been given a gamut of research assistance and personal assistant who can do basic research and investigation on any matter, could not do it. And so what is the reason or the basis for the payment of their salaries as research assistants and personal assistants?
What about the what about the 6 million spent on training? Yes.
Hold on. He says that another claim is that he has used 15 million Ghana cedis to buy land cruisers, which is not true. He said they have about 7 or so land cruisers. NPRA has just about 2 land cruisers. They have issued a statement. Haven't you seen the statement? NPRA issued a statement yesterday. And if you can read significant portions of it to your viewers, I'll be very happy. They issued a statement yesterday. You understand? Explaining everything and completely dismissing all the claims raised by the Member of Parliament, Honorable Vincent Asifua. And I am extremely disappointed. It does appear that since the inception of this NDC administration, the MPP has waged a war of attrition on almost everything that the NDC government does, and creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear and wanting to dent the NDC government that is doing extremely well. You understand? So there is no basis for this. There is no truth in this. It must be dismissed at the earliest opportunity. Just like all the other bogus claims that the MP has brought over the past few months has been dismissed.
Okay, let me bring in a lawyer now. Lawyer, so for you, I mean, if you listen to Kwesi and if you read the document from NPRA, they seem to say nothing is happening.
Good morning.
Why didn't we do that sort of cross-checking fact before it's put out?
Good morning to you. Good morning to my dear brother. Good morning to everybody watching us. See, the first fundamental point here is that before the MP came out to speak, he actually filed an RTI with the pensions NPRA on record. They recorded, they responded to the RTI by stating categorically that they are unable to provide specific answers to the MP's questions. So, this raised some suspicion. And the MP, being alarmed by the response by NPRA, decided to put it out. let me also state that the MP demanded some answers through the media. It is interesting that the NPRA now seeks to respond to the very details or the very questions the MP filed an RTI with them. The minority has raised about 7 important concerns. Their first concern has to do with the increment of the CEO's salary.
Yeah.
It is not in dispute. The minority has not questioned the existence or otherwise of a board resolution. The existence or otherwise of a board resolution is inconsequential to the allegations the minority is making. The minority is making the simple point that, yes, there was a board resolution that increased the salary of the CEO by 27%. However, the current CEO, Mr. Chris Boedi, has increased the CEO, his salary from the stipulated 53,000 to about 90,000 Ghana cedis. That is the claim of the minority. We demand answers. Secondly, it is the claim of the minority that the management and board of NPRA went to or visited the United States of America.
On that, just give me some few minutes. Doc, on the salary, how much is the CEO paid?
So the board resolution was a salary increase of 25% across board.
Okay.
So I'm surprised. I am extremely surprised that he said his salary has been increased from 50,000 to 90,000.
No, so how much?
There's an increase from 50,000 to 90,000.
Don't worry about that. You know, doctor, how much is he paid?
I don't know the salary of CEO of NPRA. So what I know is that. Hold on.
No, it's my time. I was quiet when speaking. My dear brother.
I thought that.
My dear brother.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know, then he lacks the audacity to tell the minority that they lied about the MPs, the CEO's
because this
salary.
Is on record.
Because if you don't know, how are you able to establish that the minority has lied? You cannot tell. That is why we are all asking for answers. So the point is that the salary increment structure or resolution increased the CEO's salary by 25% to a nominal figure of 53,000 Ghana cedis a month. However, this CEO has on his own accord, according to the minority, has increased the salary from 53,000 to 90,000 Ghana cedis. That is the claim we are making.
But again, it will be a bit weird if you look at corporate governance.
That is why
he has a CEO.
No, but the entire press conference. No, but the entire press conference is founded on the fact that there's been multitude of infractions of the corporate governance, regulations, and that is why the minority held this press conference. Now, the second point of the minority is that sometime in 2025, the board and management of NPRA, the persons who are responsible for managing the funds of the pensioner of the teacher who pays about 5.5% of his salary to them, travel to the United States of America for a training seminar at the University of at the Bentley University in Boston. Now, the minority's claim is that when they were traveling to the United States of America, about 17 members of the board chartered business class flights to the United States of America and were paid $1,500 per day, and they spent 14 days. So cumulatively, their flight alone cost the ordinary pensioner about 3 million Ghana cedis. Because the average price of a business class ticket ranges from about 65,000 Ghana cedis to about 125,000 Ghana cedis. And so for 17 of them, and cumulated with their board allowances or their travel allowances, which was $1,500 per person for 14 days. In total, the minority's claim is that NPRA has squandered over 8 million Ghana cedis or over $1 million pensioners' money on that wasteful travel. Now, the minority is asking several questions under this point. That which training did they have or did they participate in the United States of America? Which meeting happened in the United States of America? We are all aware that on the NPRA board, the deputy minister for the deputy attorney general and minister for justice is on the board, the deputy bank of Ghana is on the board, and a couple of other people. We are asking questions that why waste over 8 million Ghana cedis of taxpayers' money on such a trip. Now, the third claim of the minority is that the regulators of the pension funds, the regulators or the persons who are responsible for managing the retirement of the ordinary Ghanaian has spent 50 million Ghana cedis in purchasing Toyota Land Cruisers or SUV vehicles for their board members and the top hierarchy of their management.
They deny that flatly. They say they have two and they were bought in 2023.
So it is the word of the minority against the word of NPRA. Yeah. But you see, my fundamental, or the first point I made was that the failure of NPRA to respond to the minority's claim, or Honorable Convincent's RTI, raised some suspicions. Because if you have nothing to hide, and if you are acting in a very transparent manner, why do you refuse to respond to the MP's RTI and wait for the MP to address a press conference before you issue a statement? It clearly tells you that this statement is an afterthought. It clearly tells you that this very statement is not a statement that can be taken serious. It clearly tells you that this statement is a statement that seeks to do damage control for the leadership of NPRA after the Honorable Member of Parliament exposed their dubious means. Okay. Now, the fourth claim of the minority on this matter is that if you go to NPRA, there is a directorate for micro pensions. The directorate for micro pensions is headed by a director who is paid over 80,000 Ghana cedis a month. However, the CEO, Mr. Chris Boedi, has appointed the former CEO, Mr. Kofi-Addo, the former CEO under President Mahama Part 1, whose tenure ended in the early days of 2017, has appointed him as a consultant for micro pensions and has paid him 4 million Ghana cedis as consultancy services fees. And so the minority is raising questions that why is it that at NPRA there is a directorate to manage micro pensions. However, you've gone ahead to appoint another person. And so the minority is raising serious corporate governance questions, which demands answers. And my dear brother, I think that, sincerely, I think that if the persons responsible for protecting the retirement of the Ghanaian people, the Ghanaian workers, the Ghanaian teachers, the Ghanaian nurses, the Ghanaian ordinary public sector workers are unable to control their own spending, then it means that the ordinary Ghanaian worker is sacrificing his old age for the pleasure and the luxury of the leadership of NPRA. I don't think that today people sacrifice their 3 square meals a day in order to contribute to their pension. And if the leadership of NPRA squanders or misuses the funds of NPRA in this manner, I think that it is a bit sad, it's a bit troubling, and this shouldn't be a matter of politics. The NPRA should take a sober reflection and respond to the issues and try to address these concerns, because I think that these are heartbreaking concerns. Thank you very much. Can you imagine, as I land, can you imagine that people contribute to their pensions for over 30 years, 40 years, and yet go home with a peanut of, let's say, 1,500 Ghana cedis and 2,000 Ghana cedis as your pension contribution?
Thank you very much. Yes, Doc.
Just a few minutes. You see,
I'll give you 2 minutes again.
The NPRA's statement that they released yesterday has presumption of regularity as compared to whatever Kwesi or the members of the minority will say. Their statement is clear that it is a lie, and I can read to you.
But is it wrong to say that if you have nothing to hide, why didn't they answer?
What are they hiding? What are they? This is a statement that they brought out.
Why didn't they answer to the RTI?
Oh, listen. The point I'm making is that they have responded to the claims and the presser that the MPP did. Okay. It is not an RTI. Okay. They have responded to a statement that you did. And in the same way, they are saying that they claim that Mr. Chris Boedi doubled the salary upon assumption of office is completely untrue. He also benefited from the 25% increment that the board approved in 2024. So it is not true. Where did they get their figures? I don't even need to know the salary of Mr. Chris Boedi, but I know that he also benefited from the 25%. It is a matter of record. You can go there and check. So it is not true.
But how do you check if they are failing to respond to your RTI?
You see, they don't even do basic research. Who said they took business class and traveled? for board members. It was a virtual capacity building session.
No, that's not true.
For 6 months. It is in the statement.
They have
issued a statement.
That's not true. That's a different one. That's not true. That's not true.
But this is a
no, that's not true.
Capacity building for board of directors.
No, that's not true.
You said it for 2 weeks.
What I'm talking about is the training they attended at the Boston University. That's what I'm talking about.
Relax.
At the Bentley University in Boston. That's what I'm talking about.
The Bentley University is here. They have responded to it. It's at the MPA. Hold on. We are talking about quiet. This statement. Relax. Allow him. He said the NPRA states that the training program in Bentley University, the same university he's talking about, did not happen for 2 weeks. It was for 6 months, and it's actually a virtual, training session. So it is not true. All the allegations they are making are clearly not true. So you understand?
Let me ask you
about the land process, the NPRA has issued the statement. They are saying that it is not true that they have 7 land cruisers or they spend 50 million. They have only 2. One was bought in 2023. One was bought in 2026. So it is not true.
But Doc, basic question: if you have nothing to hide, why fail to answer an RTI, which the law mandates?
When did they file the RTI? Let's see.
Yes, sir.
When did?
They filed the RTI sometime in February. Sometime in February.
But why didn't they answer the RTI?
You see, it is a matter of time. They will have their response. But the point is that you went to a press conference. I'm saying that. Listen to me. I'm saying that you have done a press conference openly, which is completely different from an RTI you filed. You understand? That is why they have to urgently respond. But I can assure them that whatever they are demanding through the RTI, they are going to get. There's no difficulty. It does appear that the MPP is
trying to... says they've answered the guy to say we cannot provide answers to the RTI request.
Yes, because
where's the evidence?
I have the response to the Honourable Member of Parliament. But before I fetch the response, a quick one. Kojo,
you must be rest assured that Mr. Chris Bodi-Mensah will not engage in anything that will put the NPRA or the image of the government in harm's way.
Okay.
He's a very responsible person. He's somebody that some of us respect so much, and that the claims raised by them, you see, the MPP faces credibility issues. How can you come and say that Kojo, I want to take Samyaya back to his own statement.
No, you will get it.
To his own statement.
No,
let's clear this matter once and for all. Let's clear this matter. Let me see the NPRA statement. The NPRA statement.
Yeah.
Has presumption of regularity.
Okay. That's fine.
It is credible. We will take it out compared to all the claims.
Okay. No. Just one final question. Yeah. Why is Mr. Bodi-Mensah serving as the chairman of the National Insurance Commission? Why is he still serving as the board chairman of the National Insurance Commission? Chris Bodi-Mensah.
I'm not informed whether he's
You are not aware?
No.
Okay.
I only know the CEO of National Pensions Regulatory.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So now my first point on Samyaya's presentation is that Kojo, do you have a copy of the response of the NPRA?
No, yes. I've not downloaded it.
Read from Samyaya. I don't want to give you mine. Read from Samyaya's.
Give me your response.
Yes. Yeah. Read paragraph 6. The very paragraph he sought to use to debunk the fact that they traveled in person to Boston. Please read the same paragraph.
It's under which headline? Okay.
The final paragraph 6. Yes.
It says the NPRA states that the training program at Bentley University is a 6-month virtual and in-person training. We started.
So what constitutes in-person? Kojo Brace, what constitutes in person? And that is why the Honourable Member of Parliament is making the point that they traveled to the United States of America for 14 days. Indeed, it may be true that the training lasted for a period of 6 months. But the claim of the minority led by the minorities press conference led by the venerable and the respected colleague lawyer, Honourable Eko-Vincent, is that in as much as the training was for a period of 6 months, the leadership of NPRA traveled to the United States of America for 14 days. Mm-hmm. This letter does not seek to debunk the claim that they traveled to the United States. I was quiet when it was only 2 weeks. I was quiet. I said they traveled for 2 weeks. You said that's the same point I'm making. Your argument was that your argument was that they did it for only 2 weeks. Yeah, I was quiet when you were speaking. I was quiet when you were speaking. I was quiet. You weren't quiet when I was speaking. You were interjecting me. You were interjecting me to a point where they have to. You lied that it's 2 weeks.
But it's not to go beyond 2 weeks. I beg you. I beg you.
This press conference raises issues of mismanagement
management, raises issues of using pensioners' money for luxurious lifestyle, raises issue of the lifestyle of the person you seek to paint as a saint this morning, who is using or spending the funds of pensioners and living the life of an Arabian king, living as if he is the finance minister, wasting pensioners' money. Kojo Brace, as I land on this point, you see, my fundamental worry about this matter is the fact that when the Honorable Member of Parliament filed the RTI with NPRA, they were clear in their response that due to certain international pacts that they had signed on to or that they had participated in, they were unable to respect our domestic laws, respect Article 21 of our Constitution, respect the RTI laws in Ghana, to respond and give information to the Honorable Member of Parliament. And I am very clear in my mind that if they had responded to the Member of Parliament, the Member of Parliament wouldn't have come out with a press conference. The Member of Parliament exercised his parliamentary oversight duty to write to them. He had the courtesy to write to them. He respected the RTI laws to write to them. But they blatantly refused to give information. Why are they responding now? And I tell you that this response is an afterthought. This response does not give any credibility to the real issues. This response actually gives validity and credibility to the minority's press conference. And I want to use this opportunity to commend the minority on this very matter. Honorable Ekobesent, I think that it's an insightful matter. I think he's fighting for the ordinary pensioners. I think that he's fighting for the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian people. And I think that the president must take up this matter in any serious jurisdiction. Mr. Chris Boedi Mensah would have been sacked by now in any serious jurisdiction to allow for an independent and credible investigation. Sabia's attempt is only to whitewash him and to paint him as a saint. But everybody knows that this man, how can you be paying yourself 90,000 Ghana cedis? Even the president doesn't pay himself that amount of money. Even the president doesn't pay himself that amount. There is no evidence. There is no evidence. Why? You are sitting here, you are engaging in conjectures. Why do you do that? Nothing substantial. You were coming here. You could have brought any documentation. You could have brought. No, that's the claim of the minority. This statement does not respond to the claim of the minority. The claim of the minority. You have lied that they went there for 2 weeks. No, it is a program they are doing for 6 months. What kind of propaganda is this? What kind of propaganda is this?
What are the colors of the cars that NPRA has? Are you aware?
Doesn't know. Why should I know the colors of the car? They are yellow. Why yellow? 2025 Toyota Prado. Yellow. Go to the car park of NPRA now. The cars are parked there. I can give you some of the number plates of the car. What is the importance of knowing the colors of the Kojo. Your question was not necessary. How can you ask me the colors of the cars? This is one of the cars. GS4153-25. I can give you another one. It shows the color of the car. Yes, it shows. It shows the video. This is another one. GS3850-25. This is it. But this doesn't show the color. This is the car park of NPRA. Are these cars yellow? What color is this? What kind of propaganda? What color is this? People have bought over 25 Land Cruisers. Why?
Let's make progress.
Wasting the taxpayers' money, wasting the pensioners' money.
Now, just as we're talking about pensions, let's attach another thing that deals with people's pay to it. Teachers are crying that for 14 months they've not been paid, but government is preparing to employ some 7,000 more teachers. Let me start this one from you, lawyer. Lawyer, yes, government owes them, but does that bar government from employing?
I've just received the RTI request from Mr. Vincent so far from Mr. Chris Boedi Mensah. It was actually filed on Wednesday.
Okay. This Wednesday?
Yeah, this Wednesday.
Okay.
How can you file a request on Wednesday? Suddenly you hold a press conference and you want to create the impression as if you sent. Hold on. Let me speak. Mr. Chris Boedi.
This is it.
Then it's being very dishonest.
This is it.
Then it's being very dishonest.
Yeah,
this is the RTI.
The man just sent it to me.
March 2026.
The man just sent it to me. When is today's day? Today is 17th.
17th.
And
today is 17th April.
Yes.
No, but the letter I have here from the Honorable Member of Parliament was filed and received on 17th March 2026.
He received it only
2026.
Okay, hold on.
You understand?
Hold on. You are a lawyer. You're also a medical doctor, so you help us appreciate this. The headline for this is RE. RE is what?
Response.
Okay. So RE, formal insistence on full disclosure and notice of further action under the Right to Information Act 2019.
So this was a second request. This is the first request. Now look at the first request. Kojo, for the benefit of your viewers, pass my phone to Kojo. Pass the phone to Kojo.
Relax. No. This is the man sending this to me.
Then the man is telling lies. The man is being dishonest.
He said, we only received this on Wednesday. So where did he send it? So where did he send it?
This is the first request of the honorable member of Parliament.
Where did he send it?
It was filed on 17th March.
So where did he send the first one? Where did he send the first one?
No, the first one was filed on 17th March 2026. Therefore,
guys, if I look at the letter Dr. Aye showed me, the date on it is 14th April. But the
date received.
This is the second letter.
No, this is it.
This is the second letter.
Hold on. Now, the headline is RE. RE meaning that the person is responding to something. Give me your phone. Give me that phone. Lawyer, give me your phone. Give me your phone.
Wait. I want us to do this.
Okay. No, we've turned off your microphone.
No,
give it to me.
No, before I give you my phone, let's go to the day the NPRA
responded to a conversant. This is the NPRA's response. When did they respond to him?
This is... Okay.
When did they respond to?
This is NPRA letterhead.
Yes.
27th March 2020.
So how can he file an RTI 3 days ago, however, receive a response on 27th March?
This is also RE.
Does this make...
This is also RE.
So this is in response to the first RTI. Now let me show you the first RTI.
What first RTI?
No, but... Okay. No, but...
I guess our viewers are very...
Kojo, if Dr. Samiaye's claim is anything to go by, he makes the point that... Let me land. He makes the claim that a convincent filed his RTI 3 days ago. However, from what you have just read to your viewers, NPRA responded to a convincent on 27th March 2026.
Yeah.
How do you respond to an RTI filed 3 days ago and backdate it to 27th March 2026? If that is what Samiaye wants us to believe, then this even raises questions of good corporate governance at NPRA. This raises the question that Mr. Kresi Nyame cannot be trusted with the funds of pension.
That's fine.
It raises serious questions.
The difficulty they have is that the first RTI they requested was basically about the salaries of the people. Meanwhile, the board had published all the things they had requested in that first RTI on their website.
Okay, that's
really so they were just clutching on straws.
Let's make progress.
It was pure propaganda. There was no need for it. You understand? So I don't know why they engage.
Thank you very much. Let's make progress on this particular matter and talk about teachers. 14 months in arrears. So, Kwesi, I wanted to start with you.
Right.
Yes. Government owes you 14 million, but does that bar government from employing if government feels that there is a gap we need to fill?
I think that first and foremost, I want to read this quote. A nation that won't pay its teachers has already failed its children.
Hey.
This government must find money for our teachers in the classroom. You see, there seems to be a certain pattern within this government. This government is always able to find money for luxury, but is unable to find money to reward the sacrifices of teachers and nurses. I don't know the problem President Mahama has with teachers. And today I want to use your platform to plead with President Mahama that in case he has any problem with teachers, he should fix the problem and pay teachers. We always preach patriotism, but let's be very clear this morning. The ordinary teacher cannot go to the wache seller this morning and buy wache with patriotism. The teacher cannot go home, eat later today, and have a very good weekend or prepare a weekend meal for his family with sacrifice. The teachers deserve their salary. They are not begging the government for money. They are begging the government to pay them what is due them. The government must pay the teachers. Government doesn't have money to pay teachers. But today we are being told that government has been able to find money at NPRA to purchase Land Cruisers worth 50 million Ghana cedis. And so clearly it raises the issue of priority to this government. This government clearly doesn't think about the ordinary Ghanaian. This government clearly doesn't think about teachers, doesn't think about nurses. This government has been very, very, very unfaithful and has been very, very wicked to the teachers of this country.
People wake up at 4 a.m., look for vehicles to go to their various institutions to teach the children. Some even try to actually manage the emotional needs of the students. And at the end of the month, some will receive a salary at the presidency, and the ordinary teacher will go home with empty hands. But this is the track record of John Mahama. And I am very glad that Ghanaians are seeing the true colors of the NDC. I am very glad that Ghanaians are beginning to see through the veil of the NDC, are beginning to see through the real character of these people. The real character of these people are beginning to come to bear. Because in the John Mahama Part 1 administration, teachers worked for 3 years, they were paid 3 months. Today, teachers have worked for over 15 months, they have not been paid. Teachers are begging for their salary. The teachers are dying. Those on BP medications are unable to purchase their BP medication.
Where have you heard a report of a teacher dying?
Didn't you follow the demonstration? Some of the teachers make the claim that some of them are on BP medications and they are unable to purchase their BP medication. Kojo, if you are unable to purchase your medication, what will happen to you? You are going to die. And so this government is punishing the teachers. This government is only being wicked. Kojo, this morning I am very emotional about this matter because teachers are a very critical component of our economy. They are a very critical component of nation building. And so these are people that we should invest into. How do you invest into education without paying teachers? The teachers will even lack the necessary motivation to teach the students.
Okay.
They'll lack the motivation to teach the students. And these teachers do not have any other source of income or any other means of income. All what they rely on is their monthly salary, which they are expected to be paid after serving this country in all sincerity and in all faithfulness. But this government is clearly punishing teachers, and I am very, very sad, and this is very unfortunate, especially when also you promise teachers 70,000 recruitment and you recruit only 7,000. This is an insult to the teachers. This is a blatant disregard to teachers. Come again?
What did they make that promise of?
Oda Idrisu in April 2025. The story is available on graphic online everywhere. You can Google. You can Google and fact check. You can Google and fact check. No, you can Google and fact check. The story is available online. He promised that he was going to recruit over 70,000 teachers. 10,000 on teaching, 60,000 teaching staff.
Okay.
Today, we are being told that we are only able to recruit 7,000 teachers. And so clearly, it tells you the priority of this government. Education is not a priority of this government. All what this government is concerned about is to only milk this country, is to only create, loot, and share. And because they will not be able to make any money from paying teachers, that is why they are unable to pay teachers.
Okay.
But they are able to raise money to charter private jets. They are able to raise money to pay their constituency executives. Mustafa Gbande, the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, on live television told us that the NDC has made allocations and has made provision to pay constituency executives of their party. Use that money to pay teachers.
Okay, thank
you. The teachers are better off than your constituency executives.
Thank you.
But this government places more premium and more priority on their party people than the teachers. And so it forms but one irresistible conclusion that this government only thinks about its party people.
Okay.
And if you are not affiliated to the NDC, they see you as an enemy and that they do not even want to reward your hard work.
I'm grateful. But the teachers in there, they don't have NDC and NPP.
No. That's why they are not being paid.
Okay.
Clearly, Percy has not been able to respond, has not been able to address the issues the way they are supposed to be addressed. I received the demonstrators or the petitioners at the office of the president.
Oh, you did?
When they came.
Yeah, I saw you fighting with them actually.
Relax. Let me
saw you fighting.
How can I fight with them? They are my brothers and sisters.
No.
They are my colleagues. They are my friends.
You were quarreling with them.
You see, what happened was that the MPP in September 2024 asked these teachers to go and work with a financial clearance that will end in 3 months. So they started working September 2024 with a clearance that was ending in December, even before the new government comes. And so when we came, they had worked for a number of months and that their financial clearance had expired. It took the government of President John Dramani Mahama and its cabinet to direct the finance minister to issue them a new financial clearance. Subsequent to that, in November 2025, they started receiving salary. But what happened is that their arrears from when they started work without a clearance has been acknowledged. Indeed, the deputy finance minister met them the day after they left the Jubilee House and told them that, in fact, the education ministry under the Honorable Haruna Idrisu has written to them about the arrears, and that Dr. Akufo-Addo had given him clearance, even though Dr. Akufo-Addo was away in Washington at the time. He had directed him to work on their documentation, send it to controller, so that May they start receiving their arrears. You understand the problem?
Let me get clarity.
Yes.
They started receiving their salaries in November 2025.
After they started work in September 2024 on a financial clearance that had expired.
But September 2024 to November 2025, is that 14 months?
They should come and tell us.
But the teachers said 14. They were not.
So I'm saying 14. That so it was 14. That is September, October, November, December, January, February, up to the November. You understand? They were paid. They started getting paid for some time, but the arrears, they still have arrears from when they started working from the September 2024. Okay. That is the arrears they are talking about. But the government has clearly acknowledged those arrears. That even in the face of overwhelming difficulty, the fact that they were given clearance that was about expiring in only 3-4 months, the government has acknowledged that they are Ghanaians. They are working for the country.
Help me understand too.
Yeah.
If you give clearance, how does it expire in 3 months?
Oh, there are some
the clearance is for them to be employed.
No, so you can give clearance. For example, when you complete medical school as a young doctor, you are given financial clearance for a year.
Okay, and after a year.
So it is within that year you must be employed and you must start work within that year. The moment steps are not put in place to make sure that you are enrolled onto the system before the year ends, it is passed.
So
that's exactly what they did.
So I'm coming. So when you came, you mentioned that they had already started working in September.
Yes.
Which meant that
their financial clearance had not been. It had not been activated. Even though it was given, they did not put in place necessary steps to make sure that they start receiving salary. That is why it took a very long time before when we came, we had to reissue the financial clearance that was working. DS was not working.
Okay.
You understand? So that is why the case has, been protracted for that number of time. But what is surprising me today is that you that cares about teachers, you that claims to love teachers, you care about the welfare of teachers. You issued a financial clearance that had only 3 months to expire. Because you knew that we were going into an election. So you might create a facade that you had interest in employing them when you know that you had put in place measures to make sure that they are not employed. And so if it is about a government that cares about teachers, that loves teachers, it is the government of President John Dramani Mahama. We are the ones that issue them proper clearance to get paid. And we have acknowledged the fact that their arrears need to be paid. The Deputy Finance Minister, under the authority of the Finance Minister, has issued a statement that they will start receiving their arrears in May. That is next month. And so the government clearly cares about that. You are talking about care for teachers. You took teachers' money to give them laptops. They ended up giving them laptops that were substandard. It is on record. Teachers are on record to have been complaining about the quality and the standard of life laptops that were given them. You are sitting on this platform saying that you care about teachers. You love teachers more than your party. That is what you claim. When you took their money and gave them substandard laptops. You understand? You say education is not a priority of this government. Really? This is a government that has come into power in the first year of this government, allocated the biggest amount of money to implementation of free SHS.
Okay, all right.
You that claim to care about education, you make sure that headmasters threatened to close down schools because there were no food for students to feed on.
Okay.
You that care about education.
Thank you.
President Mahama in only 1 year has implemented free tertiary education for persons with disability. He has given over 50 million Ghana cedis for research fund and what have you. Do you know the things we have done in education?
Good. Samia,
over 152,000 students have benefited from no fee stress.
Thank you.
Students in universities, polytechnic, nursing training, and teacher training. And you are sitting on this platform saying that this government doesn't care. When you know that your vice president at the time was Dr. Baumia, you are serving currently. He was exposed by a student because he claimed they had paid allowances to the student. The student said, Pastor, I've been here for 3 years. I've not received my allowance.
Okay.
You are the ones that are saying that you care about. No. Let me come. You understand? So clearly, government is committed to paying the arrears. We have received them. Their issues have been well noted, and the matter will be addressed.
Okay, thank you.
But relax.
I need a bit of. Someone sent me this. My wife did nursing and got first class in 2021. 2021. Yes. Though during their license exam, she had one referral and wrote it in I think the subsequent year and passed it. Now, with regards to recent recruitment, all those who had referrals are exempted from not having access to the portal for registration. The issue says this is an issue of most nurses facing similar issues like my wife. She has not eaten for the whole day. I don't know. I mean, you're trying to recruit nurses.
She's done.
She's done. She wrote it. Yes.
And she has been exempted.
Yeah, she's not getting access to it. And this is like the
to the platform.
Yes.
The platform has been
relax.
The platform has been closed. So after they hit their 7,000 mark, the platform has been truthful to the person. Don't lie to them.
Everybody knows the matter.
The platform has been closed.
This is nurses.
Yes, the platform has been closed. The platform has been closed.
Let's it's a nurse. It's a nurse. I speak to me.
So when did this issue happen?
Oh, there's a current recruitment that you.
Yes, I know. Which started yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yesterday was 16th.
Yeah, she says she's not been getting us access.
I'm sure most likely a technical issue. Because I know that they started.
So they should keep. They
opened the system yesterday.
All right. Okay.
Including doctors, from physician assistants, and other health workers. So I think
there's something interesting happening.
Just take 30 seconds. We need to do AG before we wrap up. Our time is up.
These guys, the NDC, John Mahama and his acolytes, are not reading the room. You've been in power for close to 16 months, 15 to 16 months.
As compared to 8 years in power.
Teachers are raising issues and you have the audacity to mention Baumia. Is it the job of Dr. Baumia to pay the teachers?
So what moral right do you have to come and talk about the problem you created?
The problem is, I was quiet when you were speaking. Dr. Samir, no, Dr. Samir, keep quiet.
You created the problem. You come and sit on the platform and you want to discuss the issue that you created.
These teachers were recruited and posted in January. They have worked for 14 months.
You didn't clear them.
No, you should know that without financial clearance, you cannot be recruited.
You didn't clear them.
If you don't have financial clearance, how do you?
There were a lot of people.
You should know that without financial clearance, there were a lot of people. It is your job to pay them. Find money and pay them. Find money and pay the teachers. Find money and pay them. It's a fact.
Let's use 5 minutes to talk about OSP. I'll start that one with you, Samia, here. And I'll give you just 3 minutes, so stick with your time. Okay. Now, when you were in opposition, you preached about dealing with corruption.
Yeah.
One of the organs of government, or one of the institutions of government that anti-graft campaigners really believe that it has the potential of helping deal with corruption is the OSP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Why does it seem that there's a calculated attempt to make that office?
There is no, there is no calculated attempt to oust the OSP or to, disarm the office. Indeed, you recall that a petition was brought to remove the OSP. His Excellency, the President, dutifully referred it to the appropriate authorities. They brought a recommendation that there were no basis for the OSP to be removed. His Excellency, the President, indicated that that petition had been dismissed. Number two, you recall that some members of Parliament on our side actually issued statements that they wanted the collapse of the office.
They even tried to lay a bill in Parliament.
And His Excellency the President actually directed them to have the status quo remained. This gives the clearest indication that there is no intention to scrap the office or to disarm the special prosecutor. What had happened was that there is a case that the OSP is prosecuting in court. Case that started somewhere in 2022. You understand? So the accused actually indicated that what is the power of the OSP in prosecuting, because you know that there must be authorization from the Attorney General as stipulated by Article 88 before the OSP can do prosecution. Indeed, that question was asked in court. The court asked the OSP could not indicate or show evidence of the authorization. Subsequent to that, the court actually asked the Attorney General to take over cases, the cases henceforth. You understand the point I'm making?
So
there's another.
Let me ask you a question. When that law was passed, there was an LI, which was also passed to operationalize that office. That LI was signed by Gloria Akufo then.
In fact,
isn't that authorization?
In fact, the position of the Attorney General has always been that the ordinary legislation that set up the OSP cannot be used to amend Article 88. In his view, the office or the instrument that was backing the office was subverting Article 88 of the Constitution. You understand the point I'm making? So it is a position. I sent your producer a video of the then Dominic Ayine. At the time, position in 2017, I sent your producer a video where he was articulating his position on what he thinks about what the office is.
That's an individual perspective.
So I'm saying
but this is a body, the whole of Ghana believes that we need to help it
and work. And the president has indicated severally that we must allow the OSP to work. Yes. And so that ends the debate. Nobody is against ousting of the OSP or scrapping.
But when the High Court gave that ruling, yesterday, the Deputy AG created the impression that the AG is moving to take over those cases.
Because there's another case that another lawyer has filed for interpretation at the Supreme Court. You understand? Where the AG actually contributed and submitted, his position on the matter.
That's
that he thinks that, yes, you understand the point I'm making. So that is what the Attorney General believes in. You understand? To support the argument that is being raised for the interpretation of the matter in court. That is a clear legal matter.
I'm grateful.
But you see, all these conversations have happened.
I'm grateful.
Because if the OSP was actually delivering on the way and manner he is supposed to deliver, all these conversations.
Thank you very much.
So I think that we are just here waiting for how the matter will pan out. The case is still in court. We don't. Personally, government has no deliberate interest in making sure that the OSP is
okay. All right.
So we are waiting for how it will.
You see, you don't kill the watchdog.
3 minutes.
You don't kill the watchdog unless you are afraid of what it will find. This government is dismantling and crippling the OSP because it is afraid of what the OSP will find.
Really?
And you see, these people, this government, I have always maintained that it's a government made up of a bunch of arrogant liars. In opposition, they promised us oral. Today, what is happening? They told us oral would end corruption. Instead, they are ending the office of the special prosecutor. This government is not running towards accountability. They are running away from accountability. But, Kojo Brace, one will ask, why are we here today? We are here today because a few days ago, the High Court gave a decision in the rice scandal case where one of the persons standing trial, one of the accused persons, filed a quo warranto. In other words, requested for the warrant of the special prosecutor to prosecute. The High Court was very clear. Justice Nyedu Nyante was very clear in his ruling that the OSP, by operation of law and by operation of Constitution per Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution, requires the express approval and authorization of the Attorney General before initiating prosecutions. Yes, it is true. Article 88(4) is very clear. In fact, the entire provision of Article 88 empowers the Attorney General as the sole institution to initiate criminal prosecutions in this country. However, by law, the Attorney General is also empowered to delegate such, authority. And that is why you find several institutions, such as SNET and other institutions, initiating prosecutions, GRA and whatsoever, initiating prosecutions on their own without the express authorization and approval of the Attorney General. This OSP law Act 959, live with the MPP for 7 years without problems. Live with the MPP for 7 years without challenges. And I reject the position by some of the government actors that the OSP law is defective. The OSP law is not defective. The law is very clear that the OSP shall be nominated by the AG. The deputy OSP shall be nominated by the AG. Okay. The OSP has a the AG has a representation on the OSP's board.
Okay, all right.
Kojo, it is therefore impracticable and illogical for anybody to suggest that the OSP Act is defective.
All right.
But you see, the solution here is very simple. Because of time, I'll give you a very simple solution. If the president doesn't intend to cripple OSP, if the president doesn't intend to run away from investigations of the OSP, the simple solution is that the president must order his attorney general to sign an executive instrument warranting or giving its express approval to the OSP to initiate prosecution. That is the end of the whole matter. But this government is afraid of big push investigation. This government is afraid of Galamsey investigation.
Our time is up. Our time is up. Our time is up, gentlemen. Let's move on. Today is 17th April, and it's a special day. Special day for a very special person. Our friend Sarah is celebrating a birthday today. And so the SM Cares Foundation is doing a donation this morning, and she is inviting all of us to join her in doing this celebration. Sarah Mensah is a year older today, and so she's inviting you to join her at Tetegu, Mr. Nkanse's house, where the celebration is happening. He says, come, let's share and celebrate. Let's share, give, and celebrate together. So Sarah Mensah, a special birthday to you. You are a special person. Everybody's person in this house. Sarah Mensah is a special girl. So may the good Lord bless your good heart, yeah? So join Sarah as she celebrates her birthday and also gives, donate some school supplies and food for some school children. So Sarah Mensah, a happy birthday to you. Let me do this one quickly. Happy birthday to Mrs. Winifred Thompson. And thank God for your life and your service in God's vineyard. And I pray that your life will continue to reflect the glory of Jesus Christ. You are a blessing to this generation. Happy birthday from Reverend and Mrs. Francis Avomega, Ebenezer Methodist Church, Asen Dompim. And belated birthday to you, Eric Denchen, Brands and Activation Officer at Wicom Agri Media and Consultancy. Eric Denchen, belated birthday to you. And thanks to all those who wished my daughter, Michelle Busmefi Brace, birthday yesterday. Michelle, wherever you are. Okay, thank you. May the good Lord bless you, Michelle. We are here. There's a lot more coming your way here on the show, but thanks to Sami Ayer, Dr. Sami Ayer, presidential aide, and Wesibo Jr., lawyer and member. Sarah.
It's very important and welcome because teachers under this administration are suffering. And so people like her, happy birthday, Kojo, happy birthday.
A lot more. Do stay with us on the show.
Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to CompuGuard.
Magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more fancy than talk matter beer. CompuGuard. Classic.
Oh, number one.
Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
CompuGuard, classic one. CompuGuard, number one.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Eye bribi kitua bi na yede bo nya yedo ho ban. Ohwepa enye dede na emom eni se obenya bre ahweyie ne enioma kitua bi a yebeye no yie.
Oja ashwaye she asefremeso na hwe me huye de biara.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Crafted from cocoa, milk, and sugar. Creamy, chocolatey, frothy goodness, rich taste, so satisfying.
Cadbury goodness, the treats you deserve every day.
Is currently experiencing what we call the epidemiological transition. What it means simply is that we are gradually moving from a situation where we had lots of infectious diseases to a time when we have more of non-communicable diseases. And what that means is that non-communicable diseases like cancers are becoming more and more prominent. Therefore, the incidence and mortality from cancer is expected to increase in our part of the world, and that makes it a public health concern. In fact, current projections suggest that by the year 2030, which is actually less than 4 years from now, there could be more cases of cancer than malaria, TB, and HIV combined. That's quite scary, isn't it?
Well, thank you so much for staying with us. It's a Friday and it's important we throw the spotlight on a very important conversation on cancer to keep pace. We take a closer look at what experts are calling a looming crisis cancer care in Ghana. From late diagnosis and high treatment costs to limited screening and data gaps, the challenges are stuck, yet there is also a window of opportunity. Many of the most common cancer are either preventable or curable if detected early. So what's holding Ghana back from turning the tide, and what must change? Joining us today is Prof. Benedictine Laye Calistego. He's a professor of community health and leading epidemiologist with over 2 decades of experience in disease control, cancer research, and health system strengthening. A physician, educator, and researcher, he has led major studies in cancer, stroke, and mining-related health risk, while training and mentoring the next generation of medical professionals. He's currently head the Department of Community Health at the University of Ghana Medical School, combining academic excellence, public health, leadership, and a strong commitment to service. So just the perfect person to have this conversation with Prof. Good morning, and thank you for joining us in studio.
Good morning, Emefa, and thanks for having me here.
I'll start from just that short clip that we just showed our audience this morning, that it looks as if cancer is becoming a crisis, and if put together, would be leading even more than the common diseases that we're quite familiar with. Tell me the journey to where we are now.
All right, thank you very much. And you are very right. I mean, for many years, cancer has been creeping in gradually, unnoticed, but it's beginning to take prominent levels or assume prominent levels now. If you look at what is happening around the world globally, we are having a reduction in infectious diseases. In fact, the projections are that we are expecting all infectious diseases together to decline by some 6% in the next few years. Within the same period, we are expecting the non-communicable diseases to increase by some 17%.
Why?
Largely being driven by urbanization, globalization, lifestyle changes. You know, so most of these things are fueled by lifestyles.
Okay.
And we would have time to go into details about that. But like we can say, so cancers in general are increasing. And Ghana is no exception.
Yeah.
And what makes it a bit scary is the fact that in the past, we would used to associate cancers with the elderly. Now we are getting very young people as young as 21 being diagnosed with breast cancer. So it is worth talking about, and the numbers involved make it quite scary. You know, if you take Ghana, for example, on an annual basis, we are recording some 28,000 new cases of cancer.
28,000 new
cases annually. And annually, we are losing about 18,000 people to cancer by way of death. And sometimes it's difficult to picture these numbers. But I'm sure you all know the reaction when there is a single road traffic accident with, let's say, a huge bus.
Yes.
The noise we make about it. 18,000 is equivalent to 300 big VIP buses, fully loaded, crashing with every passenger on board dying. So literally, almost every day of the year, one bus crashes and everybody on board dies. That should make us very angry as a country.
In fact, it's even more worrying, Prof, because I was just telling our viewers that the gaps in data collection could even mean that the numbers could be more. Would I be right if I say that?
You are very right. You are very right, because it's one of the things we'll talk about as we go along.
Okay.
We don't have reliable cancer data. The figures we get are largely either institutional, from one institution, Kolebu, Konfanoche, or modeled figures from the International Agency for Research on Cancer.
See.
And that is because we don't have effectively functioning cancer registries as a country.
To even put it, let's bring the conversation home and set the tone. Would it mean that the system, are we overwhelmed, or this is a situation we can still get ahead of?
No, I wouldn't say we are overwhelmed.
Okay.
If we put our act together, we should be able to get ahead of this. It's not a very out of hand situation. There are very basic low-hanging things that we can do as a country to stop the menace or to reduce the menace. And that is what I meant when I said taming the crab.
Yeah? That's where we start from.
Yes.
Why the crab, though?
Well, you know, it has both linguistic and symbolic interpretations. The word cancer is a borrowed word from Latin, which literally means crab. If you look at the Greek equivalent, karkinos, it's also crab. So linguistically, cancer is crab.
I see. Why did they choose crab to, represent cancer?
I'm coming to that. So that's the symbolic part. So symbolically, when you look at the crab, by way of its nature, the crab is very tenacious and creepy. And you can liken it to the nature of a cancer. Once cancer takes hold, it holds on tightly and it spreads gradually. At the same time, it's very hard to remove. You know, if you've ever tried prying off a crab that is hooked onto a rock, very difficult. And it's the same with cancer. And so the early physicians like Hippocrates and co, they looked at the body of the crab and the nature of some of the cancers. Most cancers have these blood vessels moving out of it. So the body of the cancer itself looked like the body of the crab. And then the veins supplying blood to it looked like the limbs of the crab. And that's where the symbolic connection comes in. And there are also several types of crabs, just like there are several types of cancers. In fact, they say there is over 6,000 types of crabs, but we have over 200 types of cancers. So there are some similarities in there. And that is why the metaphor, taming the crab.
Okay. So a little over 18,000 people dying annually. Which of the cancers are quite major in Ghana, and which ones are leading the death toll?
Right. So I would look at it in the various categories. When we take women, the common cancers are the breast cancers and the cervical cancers. And unfortunately, we still have women dying from cervical cancer in Ghana. And I say unfortunate because this is one cancer that is largely preventable. So we shouldn't have women dying from cervical cancer. Then when you come to the men, the common ones are the prostate cancer and then cancer of the liver. And cancer of the liver tops the chart in terms of deaths from cancers in men.
In total, okay, in men.
In men.
For men, okay.
Yes. When you come to children, a lot of times people think cancers are just for adults, but we have cancer in children as well. We have the leukemias and the lymphomas. These are the major cancers that are affecting the children.
Stay on this too. I hear it a lot, leukemias and then the lymphomas. What's the difference?
So leukemias are cancers, we call them cancers of the blood. So cancers that occur because of changes in the blood cells. And the lymphomas usually affect the lymphoid tissues. I mean, there are tissues in the body like the spleen, the lymph nodes, etc. They are supposed to serve as a defense barrier.
Okay.
And you can have cancer affecting these tissues as well.
Okay.
So usually cancers are named according to the tissues in which they originate.
Okay.
So if it starts from the breast, then it's breast cancer.
Okay.
Even though it has the tendency to move from the breast to other parts of the body. So they are usually named according to the tissues where they originate from.
Okay, I like that you've categorized them. We'll start with the women.
Okay.
Between breast cancer and cervical cancer, which one is very deadly? And what's the survival rate for both of them?
You know, this is a very interesting question. In Ghana, our data on survival is also not very readily available. And that is because we do not have accurate data, and that is because we do not have cancer registries. But if you look at the two, cervical cancer is one that is easily preventable, and we have what it takes to prevent it. You know, it's largely as a result of infection with the human papilloma virus. There are several subtypes, but particularly type 16 and 18 are the major drivers of cervical cancer. Fortunately, we have vaccines against these subtypes. So with the human papilloma virus vaccine, we should be able to deal with the menace of cervical cancer. And Ghana has started rolling it out. When we take cervical cancer, in terms of its control, the WHO has an elimination strategy, which it hopes to achieve by 2030.
Okay.
And in this elimination strategy, they have what we call the 90, 70, 90 targets. The first 90 has to do with the vaccination coverage. We are expecting that every girl by the age of 15 would have 90% of girls by age 15 receiving the human papilloma virus as the first 90.
Okay.
Then
the vaccine for that one.
Yes, the vaccine.
Okay.
Then you move on to the 70. we are looking at having 70% of women by age 45 to be screened by a high-performing test. And let me explain what that is. You know, usually we have various screening tools for cervical cancer. The commonest ones being the visual inspection with acetic acid or Lugol's iodine. And then the common one most people know about is the pap smear.
Yeah.
But these are not high performing in that the yield and the results and everything are not that very accurate. But with a high performing test, you are looking at the human papillomavirus DNA. So detecting the presence of the DNA. It's a sure way of telling that the virus is there.
Okay.
So we are saying that, or the WHO target is that by age 45, we should have 70% of women being screened by this high-performing test, the human papilloma virus DNA test.
Okay. Even if in their young age they still were on the vaccine, would we need to still screen them at age 45?
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
And the vaccine was introduced not too long ago. So there are people who may have missed that window of getting the vaccine. But even if you have been vaccinated, it does not mean that you would never or you are no longer at risk.
Okay.
There may be other precipitating factors. So yes, everybody needs to be screened, even after you've been vaccinated.
Okay.
And now let me go to the last 90 and then you can come on.
Okay.
The last 90%, it's that of these women who are screened, 90% of all those found to have cervical disease should receive treatment. Okay, so that's the last 90. Now, how is Ghana faring as far as these indicators are concerned? When we take the first 90 of having our girls vaccinated, we are doing quite well. We've done about 84%, and we are still about 4 years from the 2030. So we are doing quite well with the vaccination, even though we can do better.
Okay.
When you come to the 70% of having our women screened with a high-performing test, that's where the problem starts. Data available indicates that we have achieved only 3%. 3%. And we are 4 years or less than 4 years away from 2030. When it comes to the last 90, we don't have any reliable data available as a country. And that is largely because of the problems I've alluded to, the absence of a properly functioning cancer registry, which is very central to any rational cancer control. So those are the challenges as far as our data issues are concerned.
The vaccination, which seems to have my full attention, is quite expensive. In fact, I dare say that any type of conversation around cancer is quite expensive, honestly. But because we're staying on the woman for a while, the vaccination, how are we doing as a country? I hear you say that we've started all right, not
yes,
quite
thankfully, the vaccine is being given out for free. Government is bearing the burden of that, which is a good thing. I think it's one of the good social interventions as far as health is concerned, because prevention, they say, is always better than cure.
Okay.
So government is paying, so the individual at the point of receiving the vaccine does not need to pay for it. But then, like you rightly said, anything that has to do with cancer is very expensive. And in terms of the funding, the National Health Insurance covers some aspects, but not entirely all. And I'll expand on that a bit. When you take the National Health Insurance, for breast and cervical cancer, it covers the management.
Okay.
But it does not cover screening. So it doesn't cover things like mammogram. It doesn't cover pap smear. But how will the people be screened before they come in for treatment? You know, that's one big challenge. The other thing about the National Health Insurance has to do with the tariffs they pay. I dare say it's not realistic. And most people out there selling these cancer medications are in for business.
Yeah.
So if you come and the tariffs you are giving them would make them run at a loss, even though you have it on paper that this treatment is covered by National Health Insurance, in practice, when people get there with their prescriptions, they are not saved because the providers will run at a loss. They are rather willing to sell to people who would pay out of pocket. So that is the gap between the policy and the practice, and it's something that we need to look at. We hear that, what do you call it, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, popularly called Mahama Cares, is coming on board, which is good. I'm excited about it. But even before it's rolled out, I have some reservations which I would want the implementers to look at. One is the fact that to be captured by the Mahama Care program, you need to be recommended by a specialist. I find that very problematic. The fact that you need to be recommended, it's an avenue by itself for corruption. What will be the basis or the criteria for that specialist in recommending you? That's number one.
What do you think could be the thinking that it got wrong? That is the specialist that can pronounce you that, well, you have
I believe that the people thought that, well, the specialist is better positioned to make that recommendation. But the problem with human interventions is that it gives grounds for discretion.
I agree.
And once there is discretion, it's a potential for corruption. That's one. The other thing is that by the time an individual is getting to see a specialist, a lot of time would have elapsed. So the delays would have taken place. The delay in even making a diagnosis, the delay in being referred to see a specialist, and the delay in actually seeing the specialist, all this would have occurred. And so people are likely to see or receive the support late in the disease. You know, we did some work regarding how late people present.
Yes.
And a lot of patients present late.
Why?
We use breast cancer as a case in point at Kolebu, and over 56% of the women were presenting with late-stage disease, stage 3, stage 4 cancer, which gives very little window for cure. And the reasons for presenting late are numerous. One of them is financial. When they come and they are not able to afford, they look for other alternatives. So people would now look for complementary medicine, try herbs, try other things, and if they don't work, the last resort become, okay, let me look for money and show up. And by the time they are showing up, things have gone worse. And therefore, the opportunity for cure is lost.
Oh dear.
So that window of opportunity is lost because of the structures we have in place.
I would go to the men, but in your years of research, what's that one myth that you've heard about cervical cancer? As a journalist, I've heard many things. People have some superstitious belief about cervical cancer particularly. In your years of research, apart from the fact that in all of the female cancers, and permit me to say that, present late, you have just given us the data, 56. But for cervical cancer particularly, what's the myth as a professor that you have heard so much that fascinates you so much that?
Well, I'm laughing because there are several myths and misconceptions that surround cancers in general. I would mention one for cervical cancer and I would mention one for breast cancer.
Okay.
So with cervical cancer, a lot of people believe that once you get cervical cancer, then you are promiscuous because it's sexually transmitted. The human papilloma virus are largely, sexually transmitted. So there is this misconception that then if somebody gets cervical cancer, then they have to be promiscuous. That could not be entirely correct.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to breast cancer, there are other misconceptions. There are those who believe that, in fact, this is based on some work we did in Jamestown just last year.
Okay.
We interviewed a group of men, and one of them, said he heard on TV that sucking a woman's breast could prevent breast cancer. And
that's a very popular one.
Yes.
Today, let's solve this problem today.
Yes.
Let's get the answer today.
We will.
Yes.
And we are going to solve it because Following my inaugural lecture,
yes,
some mischievous bloggers gave it a different spin. I don't know if you saw it on Ghana Web. UG professor says that sucking breast is not productive.
Oh, yeah.
Let me take time to explain that.
Okay.
So the sucking of the breast by itself does not offer any protection whatsoever as far as breast cancer is concerned. This misconception stems from the fact that women who are breastfeeding, for every 12 months of continuous breastfeeding, get some reduction in their risk of acquiring breast cancer. Now, that reduction in risk is not based on the sucking activity, but more with the hormonal changes that are associated with lactation or breastfeeding.
Yes.
So if you are sucking a woman's breast and those hormonal changes are not present, you are getting your own pleasure. You are not preventing breast cancer.
In fact, my science is not so apt, but of course, breast sucking is entirely different from breastfeeding. Right?
Exactly.
Okay. I hope you are educated now.
Yes, so those who went around saying that, I hope that clears the air. It's the hormonal changes associated with breastfeeding that gives the women that protection, not the sucking process itself.
Okay.
And so that's another major myth associated with breast cancer.
Would get you, let's go to the men, and then a bit later you can give us some framework that you think that Ghana can adopt to help. But let's go to the men. What are largely the drivers for the prostate, and then you mentioned the liver cancer as well? What are the drivers for these? And you would say these are the two major causes.
Yeah, they are the major ones that are plaguing us as a country.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the factors, you know, there are a lot of drivers for cancers, and most of these cut across. Most are lifestyle related. So if we take our alcohol use, alcohol is one of the risk factors, and people are always very edgy when you talk about alcohol. Let me break it down. If you look at Ghana as a country, our alcohol consumption is not too bad. But the problem is we have about 9.4% of Ghanaians who are involved in binge drinking. There are about 4% of Ghanaians who have alcohol use disorder. And we have 13% of our adolescents, people aged between 10 to 19, who have alcohol use problems. They use alcohol to excess. So that is where the danger lies. It's not so much of the social drinking. You go out with friends, take a bottle of beer here and there. That's not what we are talking about. The excess drinking. And alcohol is broken down by the liver. So the more alcohol you take, the more work you give your liver to do. Eventually, your liver may develop a condition called cirrhosis, where it becomes fibrous. And that can later on lead to cancer of the liver. So alcohol is one big factor.
Okay.
Then
like any type of alcohol at all?
Any type of alcohol. It's the quantity that matters. You know, sometimes we think, oh, as for beer is, depending on which beer, is 5% by volume.
Okay.
If by the time you are moving to vodka, you are getting to 42% by volume.
Yes.
By the time you are getting to akpeteshi, you are getting to about 70% by volume.
Oh my God.
So even if you take a glass, the quantity of alcohol that you are taking increases as the percentage increases.
So, Prof, a little bit of science here. So if I poured a bit of akpeteshi in a big gallon of water, and I decide to want to consume that big gallon of water the whole day, would I still be consuming 70% of akpeteshi?
Remember, it's by volume. So you've diluted. Once you dilute it, the concentration reduces.
The concentration reduces.
Yes. Okay. But again, that's another challenge. You see, when we are carrying out our health education and health promotion, these are some of the things we should emphasize. So there is this joke about a guy who used to drink a lot of beer, went to the hospital. The doctor said, oh, reduce the amount of beer you take to just one glass. This guy goes to the market and bought the biggest glass he could get and pours all the beer into one glass. Doctor says I should drink one glass. So you see, that's the problem. When you are not specific with the intervention you want the person to adopt, it becomes problematic. They would interpret it the way they want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most common way in which I think my fellow Ghanaians drink alcohol is what we call appetizer. The cheese will call it before you eat your fufu. I don't know how the Gans will say it, but something that it is a very major lifestyle you find here in Ghana. Is worrying a little bit for some good appetites is a problem.
Well, so like I said, it's not that little bit which is the problem. It's the excess. But the thing with alcohol is that when you continue taking it, you develop tolerance. So you start with one glass, and one glass makes you feel that way. After a while, that one glass doesn't give you the same effect. You would need to increase it to 2 glasses to get that same effect.
Oh.
And after a while, you need to get to 3 glasses. And before you know, you are taking more and more to get that same effect. And that's where the problem lies.
So those who say is because they've developed
tolerance. They have developed tolerance. So they can drink. If you try half of what they try, you walk home with your head. Because their body has developed tolerance. So that's about it. But we were talking about the other risk factors.
Yes.
The other thing is about the infections. You know, there are a number of cancers that have infectious precursors.
Okay.
So if you take liver cancer, for instance, which is a bit common, you have hepatitis B infection, you have hepatitis C infection. These could serve as precursors, in addition to the one from alcohol.
Okay.
Hepatitis B and hepatitis C could also serve, if untreated, could also serve as precursors for liver cancer.
These two, which one of them is very dangerous and which one of them is very common?
They are both dangerous.
Okay.
But hepatitis B is more common.
Okay.
And it's treatable. That's the good news. It's common, but it's treatable. If you look at the general population, hepatitis B prevalence is between 3 to about 14% in Ghana. You know, then the other one is the human papilloma virus, which is a risk factor for the cervical cancer.
Okay.
The prevalence in Ghana ranges from about 4% in the general population to as high as 33% among the headquarters, those we commonly call the Kayaye. They have a very high prevalence, about 33%. Because most of them, because of the environment in which they find themselves, are victims of sexual exploitation. So they become prey to all manner of people. They are very easy targets. They don't have the power to, quote unquote, defend themselves or to even bargain or negotiate safe sex.
Yeah.
So they tend to have a lot of this high prevalence amongst them. So those are the infectious ones. And then we can talk about the environmental exposures.
Okay.
And when we talk about environmental exposure, one thing that comes to mind is the galamsey activities. You know, galamsey, apart from destroying the environment, leads to the release of heavy metals, like arsenic, like cadmium, like chromium. And these are all known to be cancer-causing. Okay, so once they are released, whether into the water body, into the environment, then we are all at risk.
All of us. This is not exclusive to the woman? Or
No. This is not exclusive to the woman or the man.
Okay.
It's everybody.
Okay.
So these are some of the major risk factors, in addition to the fact that we are beginning to have an aging population. You know, gradually the proportion of people who are aged in Ghana is increasing. And as you age, some of these things tend to be uncovered.
Okay.
In the past, you may die with prostate cancer rather than from prostate cancer.
Okay.
The difference being that you would die and probably at postmortem they will realize that you had prostate cancer, but it was never a problem for you because you died too early before it could manifest.
Okay.
But now people tend to live longer. So once you are living longer, it has opportunity to manifest.
Okay.
So then it becomes a problem. So these are some of the major drivers for the cancer problem that we are having.
Prof, you've just introduced prostate cancer. Let's stay on that.
Okay.
What's the common myth about prostate cancer?
Well, there are myths that has to do with what you need to do to protect yourself.
Okay.
Well, there are those who say that you need to have at least 21 ejaculations in a month.
I won't believe them. I'll believe what you say, Prof. I will only believe what you say, Prof.
You know, well, there are, to every counterfeit, there has to be an original.
I agree.
It's just that people would always put a spin to it. Now, this myth stems from the fact that, you know, when the function of the prostate gland is to enhance the semen that is produced.
Okay.
Now, when the gland is not emptied, the contents over time can undergo what we call some changes. When you have, what do you call it, oxidation radicals. I'm trying to break it down.
English.
Okay, so what is going to happen is that you may have some changes in there that can be dangerous because of the effect they have. And when you have these radicals or these chemicals in the body that are not broken down, then they can lead to what we call cancerous changes. So frequent emptying of the gland is required.
Okay.
But at the same time, people would put a spin to it and use that to achieve their personal agenda.
I agree, Prof.
So if you don't let me get what I want, then you are making me, you are putting me at risk of developing prostate cancer. You know. Now, when it comes to, cancer prevention, generally, we tend to group cancers into three. We talk about the rule of thirds. We have a third of cancers which we say that are either preventable or curable.
Okay.
And the reason we say that is because most of these cancers are either the result of infections or lifestyles. So if you can prevent those infections and you can modify those lifestyles, then you can prevent them.
Okay.
Again, it's because a lot of these cancers have a long latent period. And within that period, you can screen and detect them early. And once you detect them early, they are curable. Now, cervical cancer falls in that group. It has an infection as a precursor, and there are screening tools available. So if we deploy these, there is no way we shouldn't be able to get rid of cervical cancer.
Okay.
Let's come to breast cancer. Breast cancer is easily detectable by screening. And there are very easy ways of screening. We can teach women, or women are being taught to do self-breast examination. If a woman does that every month after her menses, if you know what your normal is, you can always tell when you find something abnormal.
Sure.
Once you find something abnormal, you go to your clinician.
Okay.
Now let's come to the clinical breast examination, which can be used as a very good tool for screening. We have over 7,000 CHIPS compounds scattered along the breadth and length of this country. The people who man these CHIPS compounds, they are called community health officers. We can easily train these community health officers to examine the breast, to pick up any abnormality, and then they can refer. So if we look at these 7,000 plus CHIPS compound, if they are trained and each of them sees even 5 clients a day,
Yes.
multiply by 30 days in a month, each of them is seeing 150 clients. So if you are screening 150 clients and offering awareness creation to these 150 people every month, now multiply that by the 7,000, and that gives you 1,050,000 people being screened and receiving awareness creation. In a year, if you multiply by 12, that's in excess of 12 million. Very low-hanging fruits.
Yeah.
Now, if you even think that some of these people might be repeat clients, so even if you assume that 50% of them are repeat clients, we are still reaching almost 7 million people every year, just at the CHIPS compound level. We haven't come to the health centers.
Sure.
We haven't come to district hospitals or regional hospitals or even the tertiary hospitals. So there is a lot we can do by way of screening. Unfortunately, most of our screening as a country is opportunistic and fragmented. We don't have a structured screening program. You know, just last week I was having a conversation with a former student of mine who has relocated to Canada.
Okay.
She went just about 4 months ago. And she was telling me that as soon as she got there and her documents were filed, she started receiving calls. You are due for a pap smear. And this is somebody who has been in Canada for barely 4 months. Has any health facility called you to come for a pap smear?
Not in Ghana. I have to walk in
myself.
know,
and that's what I mean. Yeah. We don't have the structures. We don't have the data. So until we put those structures in place and have a national screening program, we would continue to have these fragmented, opportunistic screening rather than a structured approach.
Prof, I'm going to advocate for a part 2 of this because there's so much to cover. But I'm going to taxi you straight to your concluding thoughts, which you mean that, of course, we may not be able to eradicate cancer now, but immediately, what will be your demands? I hear you talk about the CHIPS compound, but I'll give you a few minutes as well to give us some of the recommendations in your concluding thoughts.
Right. So, yes, we may not be able to eradicate cancer now for various reasons, but we definitely have what it takes to tame that crab. And what do I mean? I've just talked about the low-hanging fruits. If we intensify immunization, particularly the hepatitis B and the human papilloma virus, and we structure our screening programs, that's half the battle already won. We would also need to invest in getting functional cancer registries. You know, I keep going back to cancer registries because it is the basis for any rational cancer control. It is where we would get the data. And we need to have data-driven interventions. But as a country, we don't have that reliable data. And so we need to have that. I know it's been on the policy books for the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Service for several years. We have tried in our own way many times to engage people at the ministry to get cancer registries established. To no effect. A group of us came together, we established the Kolebu Cancer Registry, which later metamorphosed into the Accra Cancer Registry. It has not received any funding, not a dime from government.
That's sad to hear.
Funding of that project was largely based, from the people who got it started. And then somewhere in 2016, we had a collaboration with colleagues from the Stanford University. And so they gave some money for us to be able to expand. We actually have a catchment area that was about 9 districts within the Greater Accra region. And all we need is to have a dedicated vehicle, dedicated registrars, and so that dedicated fuel. These cancer diagnosing centers and treatment centers are not that many. We can send people around to have this data collected real time. For the African continent, we have a software, the CanRec software, which is free to download. We can have this software, and if we develop these cancer registries at strategic places, we can have a central point where all that data would feed in. And we would have some reliable data. Currently, we have the Kumasi registry and the Accra registry that are functioning. Both of them are functioning at suboptimal levels. And we can do better if we would have a budget line to help these cancer registries run. It is only then that we would have the data we need to inform the decisions that we take. So I believe that, yes, we may not be able to eradicate cancer as at now, but we definitely are in a good position to tame this crab.
Thank you so much. Professor Benedict Nilaye Kalistego is a professor of community health and leading epidemiologist. Thank you so much. We've just had great insights into cancer care in Ghana. He titles it Taming the Crab. Prof, thank you so much. We shall do this again because we had a third leg to talk about the lymphomas and the leukemia. So we'll pick up on this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Please have some water. Well, do stay with us. There's more on the show.
Shield silicone paint repels water, dispels water vapor, is washable, self-cleaning, and durable. Now, you can appreciate how and why Shield silicone paint is super strong and thus able to do what other paints cannot do. Shield silicone paint from Azar Group since 1921.
Now let me share my wildlife experience with you at Safari Valley Eco Park.
Welcome to Safari Valley Eco Park.
Our electric shuttle pulled up and in no time our tour began. We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the Eco Park. We were greeted by experienced tour guides who took us through orientation and how to better enjoy the experience. Watch these animals roam freely in their natural habitat undisturbed by our presence. We saw zebras, sable antelope, brown crane, mara, silky chicken, nyalas, Shetland ponies, and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults, this price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It has been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
Changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. I'm in the valleys. Keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Yeah, believe it, you can achieve. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the vibe. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Everything has a meaning. For every story, there are many versions of what is true.
What we need to do is guarantee that kids will get an education. Go to Finland, go to everywhere else. The state does not pay for people to go to boarding schools.
Every opinion can be debated. The political construct of the national interest can be interrogated, but some facts are hidden in the depths of interpretation.
The cost of the land at Emperor Residential, which government has just bought for them, but they are waiting for the construction of the ambassador's residence. You need to add that as well. The relocation of the judges, the cost of the construction of a permanent bungalow, then passport office. It costs us 10 million Ghana cedis to relocate the passport office. So why is government not coming clean?
So we check the facts, raise the standards of intellectual discourse, and present the issues on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This altar is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis program.
We must practice independent, credible, and fearless journalism.
Newsfile with Samson Ladia Yenine.
Thank you for staying with us. Now let's talk about illegal green associations made in Social Democrat convocation. And joining me in studio are my friends from the Ghana School of Law, Mary Lancaster Odeme, is PRO of Legal Green Association and student at the Ghana School of Law, and of course Nana Osei Jesse Michael, Deputy Financial Secretary, Legal Green Education. Lady and gentlemen, it's good to see you in my studio.
Good to see you too.
Tell me, first of all, let's just remind people, we told them a little earlier about the Legal Green Association some time ago when I had a conversation with Festus, the leader of this association, but just remind us what this is about.
Okay, thank you, Emefa. So the Legal Green Association, for short, we are called the LGA. We are the left-wing association of the professional law students at the Ghana School of Law. So this is an association which comprises of students in the Ghana School of Law who are affiliated or members of the National Democratic Party, because we believe in the ideals of social democracy. And our objectives as Legal Green Association, number one, is to provide legal and strategic research to the party at all levels. Number two, we also provide networking opportunities for our members with party leaders, government appointees, members in key positions in the country. Number three, we also concerned about the general welfare and well-being of our members. And not too long ago, we launched the Legal Green Scholarship Scheme, where we are seeking to support our members academically and financially. And also, very importantly, as a platform to provide pupillage opportunities and internship opportunities for our members.
Okay.
As you might be aware, once you're enrolled as a lawyer, Section 8 of the Legal Profession Act 1960, Act 32, requires that you undertake the mandatory 6 months pupillage before you are issued a solicitor's license. And so we take these things very seriously, because sometimes after you're enrolled as a lawyer, you struggle to even get opportunity to do your pupillage. And so LGA takes these things very seriously for our members.
This is good to know. Nana says, so at least the one that remains with me largely is the scholarship, the networking, all of the other things that you're doing as the left wing. But I see that there's something happening later this month, 17th. Tell me about it.
Right, so thank you very much and a good morning to your viewers. And thank you for the opportunity. Yes, so today being on the 17th of April at the Gempa Law School Moot Court room, we are organizing the Social Democracy Convocation. So this is going to be a gathering of law students at the professional law course in the Ghana School of Law, and also law students at the tertiary level, that is the 10 groups in the University of Ghana, GEMPA, and then UPSA.
Okay.
So we are bringing all these people together for us to have discussions into social democracy. I mean, now the National Democratic Congress Party is so attractive to young people, but so many people join the party without necessarily knowing the ideology of the party or what the party actually stands for. So we're organizing this program to bring these people together and also bring resource people. The program is actually in collaboration with the Ghana Institute of Social Democracy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the party school. So we have collaborated with them, and then we are bringing resource persons from this institution for them to come to teach people about the party ideology, what we stand for as a social democrat, so that these persons will also be the disciples of social democracy, so that when they go out there, they can be able to preach the ideology of social democracy to the rest of the world. So basically, we are meeting to, have discussions.
Okay, and this is happening later today. You say where, Mary? Where was this happening?
The Daniel Macaulay Moot Courts at the Gempa School of Law.
Okay.
Happening at 4 p.m. today.
I know that Moot Courts is quite comfortable. The seats are very comfortable. If you're worried, I can assure you that's a good place to be. You want to run us through those who are going to be there today, the resource persons who are going to be engaging in the conversation?
Yes. First on the list is the rector of the Ghana Institute of Social Democracy, Dr. William Ahaji. He is the main key speaker. We are also expecting Madame Benedicta Lasse, who is the executive chair of the Africa Corporate Governance Center. She's a lawyer also, she will be there. We are expecting Madame Elsie Apau Klu Esquire. She is the technical advisor to the Commissioner General of GRA.
Okay.
We are also expecting Edmond Combat, the CEO of TOR. We're also looking forward to having Mustafa Mande, Deputy General Secretary of our great party, Honorable Francis Xavier Sosu, Madina MP.
You guys have a packed panel.
Yes, packed, very, very packed panel, who are all lawyers who believe in this social democracy and ideals of the party. Before I forget, Honorable Fatah Mahama Esquire, who is the Deputy Director at Ghana TVET.
Okay.
He will also be there. And last but not the least, Kabunate Esquire, who works at the presidency.
Okay.
He will also be there.
Okay, Nana, so you want to add somebody? I see that Ediji Tamaklo's photo is on the flyer as well. He's also part of it.
Yes, he's also part of it, and then he's actually the patron for the legal.
He is, huh?
He and Madam Elsie are, and Mr. Combat are patrons of the Legal Green Association.
Okay, so this is at 4 p.m. at the Moot Court at Gempa, and you're inviting students from UPSA,
Legon,
Gempa,
and then the Ghana School of Law.
Okay, people would have to go to class. How long would it start before they finish to go to class?
Okay, so
how long would it last?
Oh, it's a 3-hour program.
Okay,
so we are starting at 4, and then we are ending at 7.
Is there a gate fee or it's free?
Oh no, this program is open. It's free for all students, all law students, aspiring legal professionals who want to understand the ideals of social democracy. You are all welcome to join us at 4 p.m. at Kempa.
Okay. So, that's an open invitation to you, but you specifically had on the Tain. Nursing the idea to be part of the left wing of this party, right? Because it's quite attractive. Okay, I'll let you share your final words and invitation to the people. That's your camera.
Okay. So hi, everyone, especially students at the Ghana School of Law and Kempa Law students at the LLB level, the faculty, and our various affiliate Tain members of Kempa campus, UPSA campus, and University of Ghana campuses. We've extended invitations to all of you and all friends of Legal Green Association or law students. You are all invited. I hope to see you there at 4 p.m.
Okay, Nana, so you want to add something quickly?
Hello, everyone. So we are extending invitations to you. The social democracy convocation is happening today at the Dr. Daniel Macaulay Moot Court Room at the Gempa Law School. So it is open to all. So we are extending invitation for each and everyone who is interested in learning about social democracy or the ideology of the National Democratic Congress. So it is an invitation to all, and it's happening at 4 p.m. today.
All right. Thank you. I loved accompanying the studio this morning, and all the best later today at 4 p.m.
Thank you, Emefa.
All right. Please stay. There's still so much more on the show.
journey. Success is defined by one path, the white-collar dream.
I want to be a software engineer. I want to be a banker.
But when that door doesn't open, does it mean your story is over?
No, because there are other paths.
Paths built on passion, creativity, and courage.
From season 1 to 3, we've met dreamers who turned rejection into redirection.
They wanted to silence me.
And built success beyond the titles.
As a general manager for Kina Pharma, I felt this challenge right deep that I should work in the area of my gifting. I started writing.
Now, season 4 is here.
New stories.
Remember one kid who walked into my class and looked and said, "You are from Africa, right?" And I said, "Yes, that's why you are so black."
Deeper lessons.
I haven't been to sixth form, I haven't been to university. So everything that you hear me do, I've learned on the job.
More proof that the trail doesn't end when the white-collar job door closes.
I did attend an auditioning for Emirates cabin crew members, but I was not selected.
This is not just a show, it's a movement.
The Career Trail Season 4 with Irene Edubia-Eni shows every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Joy Learning TV and 6:30 p.m. on Joy News.
The Career Trail, your success journey begins here.
Every day, decisions are made in parliament, in the courts, in the presidency, in the market. Decisions that shape the nation. Here on The Beat, we follow with keen eyes and track the centers of power.
And also look at the recently imposed 1 cedi development levy to try and cushion consumers. But my hope is that sooner than later, this war will come to an end.
Join me for a quick, sharp, and authoritative update on decisions that matter to you.
Lawyers for Chairman Wontumi, led by Andy Apiakubi, raised a concern about the fact that the documents presented by the prosecution were not readable.
Breaking down the decisions, explaining the impact, connecting the dots. The Beat, weekdays at 5 p.m., 60 minutes, 4 power centers with reporters on the beat. Feel the beat. Test the pulse of power only on Joy News.
Everything has meaning, but not everything is as it seems. For every story told, there are versions of the truth.
We can't afford to look at this, the numbers that have been presented, and say we are tired. It's the same old issue. No, somebody should be prosecuted.
Every opinion can be debated. Every claim can be challenged. Even the idea of the national interest can and must be interrogated.
This is the date it was. This was the date it was printed from the system.
That is what
what is he talking about?
Because sometimes the real facts are buried deep within layers of interpretation. So we ask the harder questions. We test every claim. We raise the standard of public discourse and place every issue on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first.
We stand beneath you. What are you doing?
Newsfile with Samson Ladi Anyanini. On Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
If you got involved in an accident and you needed a surgery, that place they will put you, what do they call it?
That's a theater.
That's a theater. The doctors, before they start operating on you, they put you on some kind of a platform. Can we call that a stage? Before they start your surgery, are they going to put on lights? Do they wear their coats and all that? Can we call it costume? All the scalpels and knives and stuff they use, can we call them props? If it is a teaching hospital, they have other students watching the surgery. Can we call them an audience? Those same doctors, some people will go to them with depression, and because they have no drugs for them, they would recommend a theater, our kind of theater, for them to come and watch a show so they can laugh, and they call it therapeutic. So how different is my theater from their theater? I didn't become a medical doctor, but I am a doctor. Do I ever see myself getting into politics? We would be idiots if we all don't. Producers like Charlie, if you ask them about it, ask them about why. I won't ask you. Gen Zs are not lazy at all. They're actually very smart. We are the ones who are dumb. I've been trying to bring to Ghana for a while. I just haven't found the money.
Oh, Charlie, George is crying again.
We were just shocked because it had not happened before for anybody with the courage to come in with excavators with the aim of coming to mine. It was unheard of.
Press conference against a contaminating. It's in the Socase and you know na a yentro ema nemcrophone be crampo ebebetu tutu ha ema bi kan ye work abako ema ne car crampo no eja to ne kama say
there was invasion. The whole world knew it. The reports were there. The investigation revealed it. The CID had all the report. Guess what happened? It was shelved. Why was it shelved? It was shelved because there was no political will.
We shouldn't rely on the kind of money that we will get in a day, and tomorrow we cannot guarantee that same money. Because the gold, once you extract it, the soil or the vegetation is gone.
Now, we have to celebrate culture, right? And one of the things that really tells Ghanaians how we really adore our culture is the respect we have for our chieftaincy institution. And in that chieftaincy institution, we have our Queen Mothers. And there's the National Festival of Queen Mothers Ghana that is coming up on the theme celebrating women in royalty for development and women empowerment. A lot of these Queen Mothers do extraordinary things to help develop their communities and their people. And I have in the studio to help us have a chat around this, Nana Ochere Boafua the second. Ochere. Nana Ochere Boafua. Okay, Queen Mother of Apesukubi. Okay. Apesukubi, and she's also the Oti region Krontihima as well. But because for purposes of this conversation, we'll bring it to our own language so that we can really understand what's happening. Then this sabotage by say ye bahima for baso. The engineer no so mfentu mam emfama mam puntu nkonani
yo we de befa akwanya we so na machia matiefo ene mahwefo na ne edikan midin de Nana Ochere Boafo a runti hima of Apisokubi, okay, traditional area, Oti region, okay, Biakoye district,
okay, all right.
Na eye afasha ye babedi no e wo Ghana ha ye hia se ohima bia de ne ho ebehiem,
okay,
if you say enye Akufo-Addo adwuma ye founder no na nyame le yi kire no eno yes o ene yes abane sa onunkuto emfa nko ni kurom ni mo obeye na national na che say ohima bia timi de ne ho eba ebedwene,
okay,
ahemafo ne nyina obia wo ku bi mu but we de eye national obia timi ba ebedwene na ne wo ye nti ayi ni say eye yamamre ene yamane ese sanye mani nyina ase atiada ena ye ma emabum no so no e wo se yetimi ni wo motnase na ye ni wo mu hia enim ni wo mu di nkomo na ne ma bi wo ho ye wo se ye kire wo na wo mu nso hu se de ye wo mu akire ye e wo se ye nso so yetimi de e kire wo se ya anye na ye yi ye ni na ye te ho saa na che se ase ye nye ne wo se ye e de ma wo mu anti program na ye no ye program a ye de ama o ahema ne emabu mu nyina,
okay
e wo Cape on the 4th
enti no unse ama abahima no ye wo ye broni be kan levels ye wo ne ye divisional Queen Mother, ye wo ne ye paramount Queen Mother, enti we no a pin baby and
pin baby from paramount division sub ninyina obi awo, okay, so for us ayanya edi akonwa ya bo sutri so mpae a yayi wa kire oman ninyina se wo ye leader anase wo ka ahemfo ni ahemafo no wo ka ho enya ebia paramount for ana division ana sub there be yenyina,
okay,
obia
all right. Koso or May,
Koso May on the 4th.
And
Victoria Park.
Okay.
Cape up to on the 10th.
Okay. It is a emeritant na emsensia. There number you.
Okay, Thursday no ye be no de welcome for ye be on the 4th no na ye be ko. Na 4th no Adeti ye be hia ye ho edi enkomo se ne be ya ye be hu ni a ye be ye ena ye wo adwuma bi nsusu wo ho ebi ye ye duane noa tete ye culture anuane a ye ye be ye,
okay, every baby
regions ni nyina na eba,
okay,
region bia eba
ene ma ba hwe western ya wono ene
ene se be hwe Oti region eba Volta Ashanti
ndimo ya na eba
Yeah.
Oti de aduane be na mo de.
Oti de say well here. Yeah, I come for ye di fufuo pa.
Okay.
Ye di fufuo tim. Na ye nanam so no mo di fufuo ni wi a na wa twansa fufuo kakra. Na wa ye lete. Ebi won so na wa bo akaw. Mo say akaw apesie. Ye tete aduane. Benkani na ye nsensen no. Na wa nua na wa twimako. De ngwa guso na wa di na wa me. Ni mi nyina ya de a eboa. Nti no ye ba be noa ye nuane. Any ye culture agro obia de na agro beba nti se ye bo wudi ya wo de wa agro beba no wa be gro food competition so ye be ye origin bia ye na aduane
me ho de ye be hwe se ye de me ntram se besa me hwe no
ya no wa be hwe
de fomfom ene beba ana de acheke ene beba na ye o hin de beba ma be hwe no nyina bi
I know I western for the wo de ye ba
no
fanti for the wo de ye ba obi se wo mo dokuna ye de to chalk ni nyina beba
de dokuna
fanti dokuna ye de to chalk beba
dokuna to chalk ene be
se dokuna mudu
okay
edidi so ama ye be ye deba ina ye be ye Thanksgiving service Sunday nti se program no de ya de bia ni ye be ye de bia ni ye be ye
okay na project bi siboni so am pesa mo ya e bia doing the event no mbe fundraising to support sa project na bibisa ho
se afi na de no
ma shase
ya shase nti ye nyanhu ye fapem ana ne ye pese ye ana se sesi a wo shade na ase no wuntimi mfa dwuma bibi nkosi wo sesei ne mo nyame ya dom afi na ya shase na se ye hia ne wo hobia ne ye mpanyimfo no paramanfo no omema ya so ate
okay
ye hu ye target a ede ye ni so
okay yo enti ye besi form no asembe na wo ka kire omo hwe ye ahemafo hwe ye eba dwumade ye bai
mate medase ni ameka kire ahemafo a hwe ye eni obi biara otie radio station TV station ye besre ohima bia e wo ho kwan se otimi ba program no bi ye wakra ebi fi voter ebi fi western be different but omo ye ntotonye a ba bia ye ba ye beda nti no ye ni problem e wo ho na mom ye besre se obi amomodin se obeba bi na nia ye be ye bia no ono so abehwe na ono so wadwenkire bia ono so betimi abekire na adwene na ye nyina ye timi apagya ama no I fine
all right we there may wish him all the best e wo dwumade we mu entino my
we there my me fi ade ba ho ye Paramount Queen Mother no
okay
ye Paramount Queen Mother ye fe na na asampoma asensema the second for US onyankopon shira no
okay
ene ye apisoku bi Paramount Queen Mother
okay yo ene
ne modern bo no so obo no ho modern wo adwuma ni mo pa
okay ekonanim yo nyame shira no nshira mu nso nyina medase so me no bo anda so is the ya bahimai ebesebuko ye no keep kosianti sawanda na latlia for those so from run no momi western jale mo bele ba me behira na ye fomfomi ya cheke ba ye mo zo anwe dia me yezime kan dia ba sekra how my god thank you very much for watching
Yamodi health screening so beba.
Upstream. Health screening. Me health screening. Okay. All right, you. And yeah, you know, say member should be have a bomb.
Member na ye ton safre wo be ma bia wo ba bia.
Okay. All right. You. Thank you very much.
Yeah, me baby.
Mate. Mamo ya de ye baba Akosua. Your friend Sarah Mensa. And then na woda. Na why na dwen so no ye obai watunu ho asi wo se ne birthday bia no. Obeche nneoma ma nkofo enti Sarah Mensa na yede na toso no na woda Sarah Mensa you are a very fantastic lady, very fantastic human being. There are so many things we could say on air for you, but Sarah they are losing out. You are a very wonderful woman. And as a birthday, she says birthday celebration with a purpose. Into SM Cares Foundation and they more chair school nyoma any aduane edi ama school bi ewo ne papa fee ewo tetegu Mr. Nkansa's house ehɔ ne nyina ye hia na ya yes and your way mo ye donation as we speak ye be hia nkoda so ye nyina na yatena fom na ye feed nkoda na bibia tumi kwesa last year ye and so ye akoma pa Sarah is a very kind-hearted woman, she's extremely kind-hearted. So Sarah Mensah, today we join you and the SM Cares Foundation to have this wonderful event you are having in commemoration of your birthday. The location is Tetegu Nkansa's house. Come around and let's do it. And you can go and support Sarah with your beautiful gift as well. Even money. She's on a very worthy cause that we all need to support her. So Sarah Mensah, happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you, elevate you, and help you achieve everything that you desire in this life and give you long life with wonderful health so that you can continue being an agent of change for the world. Happy birthday to you, Sarah Mensah. And we're also going to join you to celebrate your day today. Yeah, if you have Emefa, yeah, Baho Street. Yeah, because we'll come and join you in celebrating this wonderful thing. But just before, mommy, what will be your episode count?
Emebumuno. Aha. Nienti ema ahema fo no ye yaba out no. When we say ye mebumu fo no, ye ma na ye ni wo mutifie. Ye ne ye kyerɛkyerɛ wo niema bebree ani so. Aha, enti no ahema fo no ye wo ho e de ma youth no. A ye betimi a kyerɛ wo amamre ne saa niema ni nyina. Na mefa akwanya we so asre ye youth no say bi enye obia na obetimi akọ university. Aha, nti no ema waba mu mbu se wo de wankọ university ni bia wabrabo ending.
Okay.
There be insanu adwuma wo ho.
Okay.
Akua adwuma e wo ho, farming e wo ho. Bibia wo de wonsa beye bia no. Gidi say that e beboa wo.
Mate, me da say.
Ye da mo munya.
Nana Ochere Wafwa the second, Queen Mother of Apesukubi, Oti region, or Anonzo Krontima, Oti region. Thank you very much. So, bye. Up next is Econa with the ever dashing, beautiful, eloquent Noella Karin Yale. Do enjoy that one.
Everything has meaning, but not everything is as it seems. For every story told, there are versions of the truth.
We can't afford to look at the numbers that have been presented, and say, we are tired, it's the same old issue. No, somebody should be prosecuted.
Every opinion can be debated. Every claim can be challenged. Even the idea of the national interest can and must be interrogated.
This is the date it was. This was the date it was printed from the system.
That is what
what is he talking about?
Because sometimes the real facts are buried deep within layers of interpretation. So we ask the harder questions. We test every claim. We raise the standard of public discourse and place every issue on the altar of unbiased scrutiny. This is Newsfile, your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, we put Ghana first.
We stand beneath you. What are you doing?
Newsfile with Samson Ladi Anyanini. On Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
If you got involved in an accident and you needed a surgery, that place they'll put you, what do they call it?
That's a theater.
That's a theater. The doctors, before they start operating on you, they put you on some kind of a platform. Can we call that a stage? Before they start your surgery, are they going to put on lights? Do they wear their coats and all that? Can we call it costume? All the scalpels and knives and stuff they use, can we call them props? If it is a teaching hospital, they have other students watching the surgery. Can we call them an audience? Those same doctors, some people will go to them with depression, and because they have no drugs for them, they would recommend a theater, our kind of theater, for them to come and watch a show so they can laugh, and they call it therapeutic. So how different is my theater from their theater? I didn't become a medical doctor, but I am a doctor. Do I ever see myself getting into politics? We would be idiots if we all don't. Producers like, Charlie, if you ask them about this, ask them about why. I want to ask you. Gen Zs are not lazy at all. They're actually very smart. We are the ones who are dumb. I've been trying to bring to Ghana for a while, and I just haven't found the money.
Oh, Charlie, George is crying again.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told.
That I was gonna show up this week, and here I am back in my seat bringing you your favorite e-corner on the AM show. A very big thank you to Emefa, Adeti, and of course Kojo for holding the fort since morning. Well, it's still morning, but this is where we get soft right here on the AM show. My name is Noella Kareniali, and of course, right after this, we get right into business. You're welcome back. So I had an interview scheduled for you, but time is so much against us. I'm unable to bring you that interview. But basically, it was going to be about this year's TGMAs, or the Telecel Ghana Music Awards. You know how we enjoy it every year, and we always troop to the Grand Arena, the Accra International Conference Center, to enjoy some music, some performances, and also find out who wins what and all of that. Of course, this year's Artist of the Year category is quite tight. We have a female in there, we have a Blacko in there, we have a gospel artist in there. And so the competition is tight. But just last night, I came across, a story about organizers saying they don't have a venue, and we've got about a few weeks to the event. And so it's surprising that, for me, I found it surprising that as of now, they still don't have, an event venue. And it's because the usual Grand Arena we're used to, apparently, they're moving, or they've moved from there because they're about to renovate the place, as well as the National Theatre as well. And so they have to move. And so, the Grand Arena is like a 4,000 capacity, venue center. And apart from that, we only have the Palms Convention Center at the Labadi Beach Hotel, or should I say the Palm Beach Hotel, rather. And that's a 2,500 capacity, venue, which is like, if you look at how huge TGMA is, the Grand Arena would have been a perfect, venue. And so for me, it tells a lot about, every time we talk about Ghana not having a world-class venue, for some of our events, this is it. Because it's shocking to me that as of now, the only place we have that can, contain huge numbers is the Grand Arena, and now the Grand Arena is no more. And so where do we go from here? Anyway, organizers say that they're going to, find a way around the situation. I don't know whether they would settle on the Palms Convention Center, and what would that mean? Would it mean they'll have to do a hybrid, event? I really wanted to explore that with the public relations officer of Charterhouse. Unfortunately, I'm unable to bring you that interview because of time, but I will find out the very good details and bring you an update next week, Friday. Let's move away quickly from that and talk about King Promise and Mr. Easy. You remember, right after Mr. Easy got married to Temi Otedola, they released some music called See What We've Done. And a lot of, us enjoyed that music. It was more or less like around Mr. Easy getting married, the backstage or behind the scenes, visuals and all of that. It was beautiful. And it talked a lot about life and where we used to be, where we're going and all of that. It's a beautiful thematic music and music video. And then right after they released another song together, and then a third one together. And so at that point, we were like, okay, are they working on an album? What's going on here? Because you cannot release, 3 singles back to back together and not work on an album. It's almost like a no-brainer. Anyway, we guessed right, because they have released an album together. It's called See What We've Done. It's a 9-track album. I've listened to the songs on the album. I love some, I do not love some, but I'm guessing probably they would grow on me. I think my favorite, apart from the ones we're used to, is Matting. That's like the newest, one of the new tracks on the album. You should check it out. So basically, this is how they introduced their album. Let's take a listen.
King Promise and I is creative in one word, just spontaneous.
We don't take ourselves too serious. We just have fun making the music. Fun. So it's fun.
Like 10. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Click, 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 click.
If this album was a mood, it would be cozy.
This album represents to me right now
I think it just represents like vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go for it.
Anywhere you did this album for me, you know, say if I feel one, you feel one too. When people look back at this cover from years now, they should feel that they were rightly represented by myself from Ghana and Easy from Nigeria and us together from Africa.
In the future, when you look at this cover, you should just be able to see that this was just good vibes. See what we've done.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I want to see more of this, two artists collaborating together. There is a lot of good stuff in collaborating. I mean, if you have the talent, someone else has the money, the right thing to do is to collaborate and create magic. And I love this. And I cannot wait to see more projects like this from our artists. And so, yeah, congratulations to King Promise and Mr. Easy on your new, See What We've Done album. You should check it out on all music streaming platforms. It's beautiful. But let's still talk about Mr. Easy, because his wife, his very new wife, Temi Otedola, daughter of billionaire Femi Otedola, is speaking. And basically, so they have a podcast together, as in Temi and Mr. Easy. They have a podcast together where they literally talk about themselves, their lives. I remember when they got married, and a lot of people were, really getting curious about the kind of planning that went into their wedding. They spoke about it. This is not what I'm talking about, but I'll come to that. So yeah, they talked about it. They talked about their wedding. They talked about your life, their honeymoon, and all of that. It's beautiful. But in your latest episode, they were talking about their communication skills, or their communication styles, I should say, how they communicate with each other when you're angry, when you're happy, and all of that. And apparently, anytime Mr. Easy is angry with her, instead of talking to her face to face, he would rather send emails, long, lengthy emails. Well, let's take a listen to how that works out.
I'm going to use you.
And just call me out.
Yeah, I'm going to call you out a little bit. But I think you're really working on it, because now, so this fight I talked about last week, the way I found out that Tosin was actually angry with me on the Monday was that he sent me this long message. And bear in mind that we're sitting in the same flat. I'm minding my business, doing my email, and I just get this scroll of a message saying everything he's upset about me for.
Did you read it?
While I was reading it, my body was already becoming hot. So at some point, I can't even read because I'm so angry. Because imagine I've asked this guy 10 times, are you upset with me? Are you upset with me? I was hot. So honestly, if you're in the same flat as someone, do I think it's a bit childish to not go up and speak to them? Yes. But right now, that's what you're comfortable with. You find it easier to express yourself by typing. Like, I've gotten some crazy ass long emails in the past.
Yeah.
At least you're getting it out.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to just you be able to sit down with me and have it out.
Yeah, true. I would prefer to do that. But I see that sometimes when we sit down to talk, I don't hit the nail on the head, because at the same time, I don't want to sound, just like you said, when I enter my robot mode, already my face is straight, I'm just, and I don't want to, I think if I communicate it at that time, it will sound too harsh. And you're like, okay, so what if it sounds too harsh? Let it out. But because I'm such a nice person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're agreeing for that.
Yeah. You're a gentleman.
Because a gentleman is that's the way. But I think it's important for people to find, I'm not saying the best way to communicate with somebody that you're sitting by the side of is by texting. I don't think that's the best way.
Yeah.
But I think that's my way, and everybody just we all just need to find what our ways of communication is and communicate. Because for me, it's writing. When I write emails to people, business people, is stone cold. When I write when I want to be stone cold, I can do it. When I want to really express myself, I can do it via typing better than speaking about it, because then I can read it again. I can read it again to see, okay, what have I omitted?
All right. I mean, I don't know what you think about this, but I think this is an example of a healthy, communication in a relationship. I mean, obviously he does not want to talk to her because in anger you can say, you know, the dumbest of things, you can say the harshest of things, and so you do not want to talk in a way that, you know, makes, you know, the situation worse than it already is, and so you'd rather write, you'd rather send emails. I think it's fine. Plus, he made a very important note, says he's realized that every time they talk about their issues, he isn't able to hit the nail on the head, you know, or he isn't able to express himself as he would love to. And so it would be better if he writes. And with that, he can, you know, get everything out. And I think it's great. It's awesome. Anywho, let's move away from that and talk about Molly. First of all, yes, Molly, sweet girl, shake it to the max sensation. Love it for her. For the first time, thanks to Molly, a Ghanaian, has been nominated in the American Music Awards. It's never happened before, in the Best Afrobeat Artist category. And she's the only lady. And there's some heavy hitters in that nominee list. Let's take a look at that nominee list. Burna Boy, Rema, there's Tyler, and there's Wizkid. This is a hits list, but our Molly is in there. And if you're Ghanaian watching me right now, you know what to do. You have to put your support behind Molly. We all have to do it. And so log on to www.amos.com, vote for Molly. She's representing Ghana. For the first time, a Ghanaian artist is being nominated in the American Music Awards. If you're not excited about that, you're probably a witch or a wizard. But anyway, you should vote for Molly. Congratulations to her and her team. They've done a fantastic job with her in the, you know, the year under review, last year as well. She's been reigning, and I love it for her. Anywho, let's move away quickly from that and bring you another story I'm super excited about, and it talks about collaboration. And after this, I want to see more of our artists follow suit. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Chris Brown and Asher Raymond. Yay! So they will be going on an R&B tour. R represent Raymond, Asher Raymond, and Brown, B representing Chris Brown. So R&B tour. It's a 33-city North American tour. They're starting in June and it's going to end in December. That's right. And you're not doing event centers or event venues, small capacity. You're doing stadiums. Okay, I know they're starting from Denver and they're going to end somewhere else, a city I'm forgetting. But I am super excited about this for many reasons. I'm going to tell you all those reasons. But first, let's look at how they, announced to the world that broke the internet, actually, how they decided to embark on this tour.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it so much, and for so many reasons. First of all, this tour represents two generations, okay? Asher Raymond represents early 2000s. He was arguably the R&B king, okay? And then we have Chris Brown from 2005 to present day. He's been able to sustain, his name and his prowess when it comes to R&B. And so Asher is 47. Chris Brown is 35, I think 35, 36. So obviously this is two generations coming together to give us a tour. Number two, this makes us feel or makes me believe that finally they're in a good place. And I'm saying they're in a good place because in 2023, they fell out. And it was because of a woman. Which woman? Teyana Taylor. Let's take a look at who Teyana Taylor is. She is a baddie, okay? She's a baddie. She's a beautiful woman, a fashionista. I've never seen her, miss out on any, clothing, whatever, statement on a red carpet. So that's Teyana Taylor. In 2023, at Asha Raymond's birthday party, Chris Brown, was there, tried talking to this lady, and this lady, as the buddy as she is, decided not to mind him, and he got frustrated. He got, angry. And so Asha was trying to calm him down. Chris Brown was leaving. Asha followed him, to calm him down and everything. I think it escalated. The issue escalated. It became like a fight. And Asha came back with a broken nose, like a bloody nose. And so there were rumors that, obviously they had fought, they had fallen out and all of that. And so for me, for them to come together to collaborate on such a huge project, it tells a lot about where you're at. It's healthy. It's great for music lovers. I mean, it's a lot of money too. 33 cities. Let's take a look at the city. I brought you the city flyers, the kind of countries they will be touring. Like I said, they're going to start from Denver. That's June 26th at the Empower Field at Mill High. Well, I don't live in the US, so I can't tell where that is, but it's at Denver. I don't know. And then they would end on December 11th at Tampa, Raymond James Stadium at Tampa in Florida. So look, I'm excited for these two gentlemen, and they have, started this beautiful thing that I'm hoping that many other artists across the world will follow suit. I have another story for you though, but time, if I do that story, we cannot end because it's a juicy story. It talks about Michael Jackson, the movie, a biopic that his nephew acted for the first time, acted him in a way you have never seen before. It's going to be, but anyway, so that is Michael the movie, 24th April. It's a high stakes attempt to define how Michael Jackson is viewed by the world, and his nephew, Jafar Jackson, played the lead role. I'll tell you more about this movie next week. But as I wrap up, let me also wish Sarah Mensah a happy birthday. She is a phenomenal young woman, very helpful in the newsroom. Sarah can literally book the president for you, okay? And so, yeah, Sarah, enjoy your day. And that's how we wrap up E-Corner and the AM show right here on the Joy News channel. My name is Noella Karaniali, and next Friday, I'll be right here serving you hot tea. All right? Bye-bye.